masculine team sports settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets and all other sporting equipment. Guardston Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardston Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Go for a walk the dog. Go cycling, cycle the dog, recycle the dog. Just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. If one leg of your 4+ fold ACCA lets you down, get a free bet on all football leagues and markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18+. Need help? Visit gamblingcare.ie.
Welcome back to Villa Park, where both sets of players and indeed the match officials out there adding the final touches to the limbering up process. Since the last round of Premier League action, we've had some good news on the COVID vaccine front and encouraging developments in terms of perhaps letting fans into stadiums in the Premier League in, well, hopefully the near future, perhaps even by Christmas. We'll watch this space and wait and see. But no fans here at Villa Park this afternoon. There were no fans at St James's Park this afternoon, where Chelsea climbed to the top of the table against Newcastle United. Here's John Anderson.
Newcastle United 0, Chelsea 2. A fifth successive win took Frank Lampard's team to the summit of the Premier League table, thanks to an efficient rather than spectacular display. Magpies keeper Carl Darlow had already made 2 good saves when Chelsea took the lead in the 11th minute. Hapless defender Federico Fernandez somehow scrambling a Mason Mount cross into his own net. You feared for Newcastle at that stage, but they were spared by some wasteful Chelsea finishing, not least from Timo Werner. But the German's brilliant assist made the game safe with 65 minutes played. Carrying the ball forward 60 yards at pace, he set up Tammy Abraham, who finished precisely to finish off the game amid suggestions that Chelsea might just be title contenders this season. Newcastle United 0, Chelsea 2.
Gabby, just heard there from John, Chelsea might just be title contenders, and that's a good result away from home at Newcastle. Never an easy place to go.
Yeah, I think these are the games where you look at Chelsea and you judge them. Can they keep getting results like today? You know, beating the likes of Newcastle's. Can they beat the teams around the middle of the table, the Leeds United, the Wolves, the Palace? Because if they can just keep winning these games, then why can't they creep into a title challenge? You know that Liverpool have got a lot of injuries. They're not going to be as dominant as last season. Manchester City are struggling this season. I feel like Chelsea and Spurs can be the team that goes about their business quietly and even makes a little quiet push to winning the league title.
Some mouth-watering matches this weekend in the Premier League, and you don't have to wait very long for the top-of-the-bill blockbuster. Tottenham Hotspur host Manchester City. How do you see this one going, Gabby?
I'm actually really excited for this game because this is a game where Pep has just signed a new contract. He sort of needs a result, doesn't he, against Spurs. And Spurs, their midfield with Ndombele, Sissoko and Holberg is very, very strong, and we all know what Son, Bale and Kane can do. So I'm looking at this game today and I'm going to side for Spurs. I think they won the game last season at their home stadium, and I think they can do the same again. I think Manchester City, we haven't seen the best of De Bruyne yet, of Sterling, of Aguero, so I just think Spurs are the team that are going to get the result today.
It's bound to be an interesting game. Let's have a quick listen to what Pep Guardiola had to say. Of course, he signed that new City contract, and he said it was City or take a break.
Stay here. If just in case we felt, because the decision is not just mine, it's the club as well, we felt it was enough, I would have to take a break. But still, what I said when I signed the contract, so still we had the feeling all together, still we have many things to do, because the squad still had the feeling that we are comfortable being all together and try to, to continue what we have done the previous seasons. That
was Pep Guardiola, whose Manchester City go to Spurs. And you can hear that game right here on Premier League Live. Tom Rennie and Kit Simons up in N17 for that. That's bound to be an absolute cracker. And that's the third of 4 games today. The final game, the late kick-off, is Manchester United's game against West Bromwich Albion. Now, United's home form has been disastrous of late. You get the feeling that failure to beat struggling West Brom today would perhaps spell the end for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
I feel that it's going to be a tough game, isn't it? You look at West Brom, they're going to park that bus. I feel like Manchester United are going to get frustrated, but it'd be interesting to see what formation Solskjaer plays, if he gives Van der Beek a game, because there's going to not be many parts of the game where they're going to have to defend against West Brom. So it's going to be an interesting game, but when Ollie's under the pressure, his team seems to get a result. So I'm looking at Manchester United 3 or 4-0 win today for sure.
And of course West Bromwich Albion not made the greatest of starts since coming up from the Championship, and it looks like it's going to be a long hard winter for them. They're going to do very well to stay up.
Yeah, I just can't see where they're going to get the goals to stay up. I mean, they brought in Grant, who's a Championship striker at best, and he's the man that's got to get them the goals to stay up. I just can't see them scoring enough goals and keeping enough clean sheets with the way they play. So for me, definitely West Brom will be one of the teams to go down, and I think if you're a West Brom fan, you sort of know that anyway.
Just down on the pitch below us, just seeing Neil Maupay, the Brighton and Hove Albion striker, going down the tunnel after his warm-up. A big hug from Dean Smith, the Aston Villa manager. Of course, he signed Maupay down at Brentford, and what a success story he was there, reunited in the same stadium, of course, on opposite sides today. Looking ahead, by the way, Manchester United against West Bromwich Albion, you can hear that one right here on Premier League Live. Andrew Self and the ex-Manchester United defender Paul Parkman will bring you all of the commentary from that one from Old Trafford, right off the back of Manchester City against Spurs. Let's have a quick look at tomorrow, and another 4-match marathon right here on Premier League Live. And we're talking a lot about the top, but down at the bottom, right below Brighton and Hove Albion, there's 4 teams. One of them's Fulham. They've got their first win against West Bromwich Albion, and they're at home to Everton tomorrow. Very nearly picked up a point at West Ham. They're starting to show some improvements, and they've tightened up defensively, haven't they, Gabby?
Yeah, 100%, and I think the formation that Fulham are playing now, the last game, I think it was 5 at the back, it was a lot more compact, and they're looking now to frustrate teams and maybe playing a counter-attack with Lookman and try and nick a goal. And I think that's what you've got to do when you're struggling to keep clean sheets, to play that way. And this Everton team, they will not find it easy to break this Fulham team down, and it wouldn't surprise me if Fulham get like a 1 or 2-0 win against Everton.
Sheffield United against West Ham, we're talking about down at the bottom there. Sheffield United need to start winning games. They've had a really tough run up until the international break. Now it's their opportunity to start picking up points, isn't it?
Yeah, but you look at Sheffield United, and this is the sort of game where they need to go and win. But West Ham, I'm hearing Mikel Antonio is coming back, so it's going to be really hard for Sheffield United to keep him quiet. So it's going to be a great game, and it's that game where Sheffield United now need to go and score goals. They've found goals hard to come by this season, and these are the sort of games that Chris Wilder's going to get judged on now.
And then Leeds United against Arsenal. This fixture's got so much history, and it should be an absolute cracker as well. You're never quite sure what you're going to get with Leeds United, or Arsenal for that fact. It should be a good game.
Yeah, I think for me, Leeds United, they've had a bit 2 bad results, but on their day they can be frightening. We've seen what they've done to Aston Villa, we've seen how they played against Liverpool and Manchester City. If they can turn up, they'll cause this Arsenal team a lot of problems. But on the other hand, Arsenal have had some bad results, so Arteta's going to want to see a reaction from his players. So it looks like it will be a great game, and for me, I'm going to look at it at maybe a 2-2 draw for me.
And then last up, tomorrow night, Leicester City go to Liverpool. They come into the weekend as the league leaders. Of course, they've lost that spot now to Chelsea after their win earlier on against Newcastle United. But Liverpool against Leicester should be an absolute belter.
For me, that's going to be the game of the weekend, because Liverpool missing a lot of defenders, Salah's missing, so this Leicester team maybe might change their tactics that they've played in recent weeks, defensive and on the counter-attack. They might even go for it and press that Liverpool defence back, because Jamie Vardy and Harvey Barnes will be looking at that makeshift defence, which could be Phillips, Milner, players like that, and really see it as a chance to get some goals. But Jota, Firmino and Mane are still a massive threat for Liverpool, and if Leicester come out and try and play football, it's going to leave space for them. So I imagine a lot of goals, and another one I see as a 2-2 or 3-3 draw.
And Liverpool's long run of being unbeaten at home in the league, that's potentially going to be under threat tomorrow, you would have thought.
Yes, 100%. I mean, if there's ever a chance for a team to go to Anfield and win, it's now. I mean, you talk about how big Van Dijk is, but Trent Arnold, just as big of a player to be out, Gomez as well. So this Leicester team as well might have fancied their chances to get a result there, even with Liverpool's full squad, with the tactics that they've been playing recently, everyone behind the ball and playing on the counter-attack. So it's definitely going to be a tough game for Liverpool, and I'm saying a draw, but it wouldn't surprise me if Leicester win and won the game.
Let's turn our attentions now to matters in hand at Villa Park. Just over 10 minutes to kick off Aston Villa against Brighton and Hove Albion. Let's take this opportunity to have a listen to what the two managers have had to say. Brighton and Hove Albion manager Graham Potter, but first of all, Villa's Dean Smith.
We're always planning for the next window, but only time will tell whether it's strong enough. We believe it's certainly stronger than last season and in a much better place. I think our start to the season has proven that already. But we've got to sustain that. It's a tough league to play in, week out. I sympathise with the clubs that are in Europe, because obviously they will feel the pinch at different areas of this season with the amount of games that they've got to play and recover.
Our performances we're quite happy with. I think when you look back on the games that we've played, from a performance perspective, probably is the best that we've played in the last certainly since I've been at the club as a block of games. So apart from maybe a half of a half against West Brom, generally the performance level's been good, and then we're a little bit frustrated, of course, with the results, because they're not quite what we wanted.
You know, I've played a small part in his development here at the football club, you know, giving him the captaincy and seeing him grow with that responsibility. But, you know, there'll be a number of people at Aston Villa who have coached him, and people, his family and friends who have nurtured him, and, you know, going back and playing Gaelic football as well. There'll be coaches there who will be equally as proud as I am of seeing, you know, the performances that he's produced, and seeing the player that we've known has been there, and you know, getting exposed now to world football.
Well, I've been really impressed with them. I think they've invested really well in the summer. I think they've identified the areas where they were maybe not so strong, and they've invested well. I think they've bought 4/5 starting 11 players, and added in the areas where they can get a real benefit. I think they're a team that's got a lot of really, really talented players, dangerous players, and they've probably got one of, if not the best player in the league at the moment in Jack Grealish.
That was Dean Smith and Graham Potter ahead of kick-off here at Villa Park. Gabby, just heard both managers singing the praises of Jack Grealish. You know Jack only too well from your time in the not too distant past at Aston Villa. Just how good is he?
I think for me the biggest thing with him at the moment, and the way he's playing, is he's not fazed by any game, any situation. When he plays, he receives the ball and he can just do things that other players would be scared to do. I mean, we saw his flick against Belgium. There's not many players in their first 4 games for England would even try that, but he's got the confidence, the arrogance, and it's like he's out there playing with his friends. You'll see today the way he plays, it's like he's out there with his friends playing an 11-a-side game, and he's just having fun. And when you play like that and you're free like that, that's when you have these sort of performances. He's definitely not one of the players that will be nervous before a game. He'll be the total opposite, and I feel like there's more to come. Once he can keep the way he's finishing, is the way he cuts in on the left onto his right foot. If he can master that side foot finish from that angle on the left, I think he'll get a lot more goals as well, and definitely he's been the best player in the league so far.
4 Premier League goals plus a cup goal as well, taking it to 5 Premier League assists. He's chipped in with goals and assists. That's a side of his game that he's definitely improved. Is it a surprise that he's making strides at international level now?
Not really. I think that was the problem. I think sometimes people looked at Jack Grealish and thought he looks amazing on the ball, he wins fouls, he runs with the ball, but there's never an end product of an assist or goal, and he's worked on that. Even I told him myself, just shoot more. You've got the technique to shoot and score, and that's what he's doing now. If you watch his games, he's getting a lot of shots off in games, and most of the time they're going in the back of the net, and he knows as well, if you want to get into England squads, you have to have the numbers. It's alright being the best player, but if you haven't got assists and goals, England managers won't be interested.
How big a difference to Aston Villa have the new signings been? Just quickly on this, because we've only got 30 seconds or so. Matty Cash, Emiliano Martinez and Ross Barkley, big additions, haven't they?
Yeah, the thing for me about Cash and Watkins, first of all, are massive, because they've come from the Championship. They want to do well, but they want to go to the next level. They want to play for their country. They want to take Villa on to the next level. Barkley's come here hungry, wants to succeed, and they're all players that are going to add something to the Aston Villa squad.
Kick-off coming up. You're listening to Premier League Live.
What will you really gain from using anabolic steroids? Using illegal anabolic steroids can lead to nasty and serious side effects, both physical and psychological. Heart failure, infertility, hair loss, acne, mood swings, increased aggression. Don't lose out to steroid gains. Know the risks. Visit zerogains.ie. A message from the Health Products Regulatory Authority.
Amazon's Black Friday week is here, so you can either shop last-minute presents and be a Christmas nobody, or shop now and become a Christmas hero.
Wow, best present ever.
Amazon's Black Friday week, 20th to 30th November. Shop now, relax later.
There's certain matchday sounds we are all missing. But there are others we don't have to. Is Carlsberg Pilsner the best beer to enjoy while watching the match at home? Probably. Carlsberg Pilsner, probably the best beer in the world. Enjoy Carlsberg sensibly. Visit drinkaware.ie.
This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home, to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other. Erscoa Kayla. Ireland is working online with help from Black Knight and .ie, because now we need better than business as usual. Call Black Knight on 059 918 3027 or visit blackknight.ie.
Create the Premier League atmosphere at home with Harvey Norman, the home of the big screen. Feel like you're on the pitch with our stunning range of 4K smart LED and OLED TVs from LG, starting from just $449. Plus, hear every kick, save, tackle, decision with LG's best-in-class soundbars. Get TV ready for all the big games with Harvey Norman. Shop online today or safely in our spacious stores. Harvey Norman, home of the big screen.
As Ireland's homegrown insurer, FBD knows it's empowering when someone has your back. So switch your van insurance to us and get up to 75% no-claim discount. Visit fbd.ie to request a quote. FBD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms, conditions and underwriting criteria apply. 75% no claims discount is based on proof of 5 years no claims discount and available to new commercial motor customers only. FBD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FBD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FBD Insurance plc.
123inc.ie have your office needs covered. So whether you're an accountant, butcher, carpenter, dentist, electrician, florist, graphic designer, hairdresser, journalist, lecturer, musician, optician, retailer, teacher, solicitor, web designer, or yoga instructor, we've got what you need. And we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123inc.ie. For home, for office, for less.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Aston Villa against Brighton and Hove Albion from Villa Park. I'm your host, Barry Swain. Alongside me, the former Aston Villa and England striker Gabby Agbonlahor. This is Premier League Live. Aston Villa and Brighton both stayed up by the skin of their teeth last season. Wise recruitment has turned Villa from strugglers to challengers. Few will give Dean Smith's men much hope of winning the Premier League, but the right result today would see them top four, an hour or two at least. Chelsea have gone top, so Villa need to win by at least 3 clear goals to knock them off their perch at Villa Park this afternoon. The Seagulls, well, they were stuck in 16th last season, which is where they are this time around. Graham Potter has strengthened his squad too. But, it's now 1 win in 7, just 4 wins in 2020, telling the story in itself. In terms of team news, Villa stick with the same 11 which made light work of Arsenal before the international break. That 3-0 win at the Emirates on the back of back-to-back home defeats against Southampton and Leeds. So Aston Villa lining up with Emiliano Martinez in goal, a back four of Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, Tyrone Mings and Matt Targett. 3 midfielders, Douglas Luiz, Ross Barkley and John McGinn. On the wings, Trezeguet making his 50th appearance for Aston Villa this afternoon, and the captain Jack Grealish, and then Ollie Watkins leading the line. On the bench for Villa, Jed Steer, Conor Hourihane, Bertrand Traore, who is fit again and takes his place on the bench, Neil Taylor, Ahmed Hamadi, Marvellous Nakamba and Anwar El Ghazi. For Brighton, they've never won at Villa Park. This is their 13th attempt. 2 changes by Graham Potter. Solly March is fit again and takes over at left wing back in place of Byrne, whilst Joel Veltman drops down to the bench, and in comes Lewis Dunk, skippering the side once again after serving a 3-match span on this, his 29th birthday. On the bench for Brighton, Jason Steele, Ali Reza Jahanbach, Stephen Alzate, Aaron Connolly, Joel Veltman, Dan Byrne and Jason Malumbai. Now, he is a Republic of Ireland international, featured against England at Wembley recently in the international break, but he's yet to play in the Premier League. A couple of cup appearances for the Seagulls. He's yet to play in the league. Maybe today is the day for him to make his Premier League bow. The referee for today's match is the well-known Michael Oliver, one of the better referees in the business, and he's assisted by Simon Bennett and Stuart Burt. Darren England is the 4th official. Fingers crossed we hear nothing of Chris Kavanagh and Dan Cook and VAR. So 2 sets of players take to the knee. And now we're ready and we're off and we're underway, and Brighton in an all blue strip this afternoon, kicking from right to left. On the ball early on with Adam Webster. Back to Lewis Dunk. Early touch for the big central defender. Back after a 3-match ban. Aston Villa, by the way, in their usual claret and blue shirts and white shorts. Here's McGinn in the centre circle, lofting it away to the left-hand side, and Grealish was in 2 minds whether to take it across or take it down. He's won the ball back off of Ben White a little bit too easily. And a free kick for the foul on Grealish. And that was sloppy from Brighton and Hove Albion. Gabby?
Yeah, that's what you want to see though. Aston Villa being positive there. McGinn getting the ball into Grealish. He's a danger man, and he shows great strength there to get past Ben White, and definitely a foul there.
Yeah, it was Tarek Lamptey with the foul in the end. The young summer signing from Chelsea.
I think the worst thing that can happen for Brighton is to get Lamptey booked early against Grealish.
That wing-back position could be an interesting tussle between those two. Here's Barkley with the ball in towards the near post. Here's Bissouma. It's headed away, almost bowed down to head it away from the near post area. Grealish goes down in exactly the same position wide on that left as he did a couple of minutes ago. No free kick forthcoming this time, and no pay. Carries the ball.
Very worrying to see Barkley go down after that cross. That could easily be a hamstring injury. Stay down, Barkley, as well.
We'll come back to that one in a second, but the ball is out of play and the referee has blown his whistle, and Barkley is still down.
Yeah, hamstring, that don't look good, does it?
No, it's not the start that Ross Barkley, or indeed Aston Villa, would have wanted. Looking at the bench, Conor Hourihane's probably, or Bertrand Traore, there are options there, but a loss of a player the calibre of Barkley could be a blow to Aston Villa.
Yeah, this would be a massive blow. You know, he's been in outstanding form. This would be a major blow if he comes off now. But you can tell when you see a hamstring like that, you know he's coming off straight away, because you can't really run the hamstrings off.
You can't take a chance either, can you?
No, you can't run them off either. He's definitely pulled something there. He knows it.
And he's with a physiotherapist at the moment for Aston Villa, and it looks like it's going to be a change. And shake of the head from Ross Barkley. He knows that something like a hamstring injury isn't a 5-minute wonder. That can be a 3, 4, 5 weeks out, if not more.
Maybe longer. You don't know how bad it is. So, I mean, that's a major blow for Aston Villa, and I'm sure Conor Hourihane now will get his chance back in the team.
Aston Villa clear the ball upfield. It's chested down by Webster. It's touched by Gross, and then Webster again. It's time to Ben White. Had such a successful season on loan at Leeds United last time out. Leeds United really wanted to buy him, but Brighton had other ideas. Here's Lamptey, a little bit of time and space on the right hand side. Takes stock and delivers the ball forward towards Welbeck. It's cut out by the Villa defence, but Brighton still have possession with Lallana. Lallana to Solly March, who's not had the best of luck in 2020 with injuries. It's a decent looking cross, glanced away by Tyrone Mings. Then Lamptey goes down under the challenge of Grealish inside the penalty area. 1 or 2 screams, and the referee wasn't interested.
Yeah, it was never a penalty there. I think Lamptey knew what he was doing. He couldn't get to the ball, so he took a bundle. But it'll be a good battle to see these two today. Both have got to do the tracking back.
Well, it's going to be a battle that is going to span from one penalty area to the other, that's for sure, because both players love to get forward, obviously, and obviously defend is something that Jack Grealish is going to need to do in tracking him back. I know he's got that target behind him on that left-hand side. It's a free kick to Aston Villa, and they are readying. It's going to be Bertrand Traoré, in fact.
I can't believe he's not ready. He's putting tape over his shin pads when the team are dying for him to get on the pitch.
Well, he's just come back from a thigh injury, the Burkina Faso international.
I think what will happen will be, I think Grealish will move back one into Barkley's position, into the midfield as a number 8 maybe, and Traoré will go onto the wing.
Yep.
It's a great attacking decision from Dean Smith as well. He could have easily brought on Nakumbu or Hourihane to play a bit more defensive, but he's going for it.
He's got plenty of options on the bench. I think that's the one thing with Aston Villa now. You looked at it last season, decent 11 on the pitch, but there wasn't much depth, was there? Now he's got those 4 or 5 players that have come in, added quality, and suddenly it's a strong squad.
It looks as well maybe he might have changed the formation and maybe gone to a 4-2-3-1 with maybe Traoré as the number 10.
Yep.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it, from here?
It's like he's sticking with his initial principles of Jack Grealish on the left-hand side.
On the left, yeah.
It's a long ball forward, and Welbeck's going to chase it. He's going to do well to keep it in. He does do well to keep it in, but he has to flick it out of play. Instead of a goal kick, it will be a throw-in to Aston Villa. And stats for Aston Villa, interesting stats. Fewest passes this season in the Premier League, and the second lowest successful pass rate. But they're having a good season. Sometimes it's down to the way you play. These stats don't always count.
No, I'd rather have 1 pass and score than 15 passes and not score.
Here come Villa down the left-hand side with Ollie Watkins, who's peeled away to the left and wins the throw-in down by the corner flag. Ollie Watkins has 8 goals, 6 in the Premier League since his arrival from Brentford. And Traoré, first real touch for him. Here he is again. Squeezes it over to the right hand side. Matty Cash, Trezeguet. Inside from Douglas Luiz. And the shot was well wide from distance. It was John McGinn. Never really caught hold of that. That was going wide before he even shaped. You could tell that the angle was all wrong, and he knew it.
Yeah, I think that'll be his one for another good 20 minutes. You get that one chance. If you hit it like that, you won't be taking another shot on for a while, McGinn.
Yeah, had a productive international break, as we mentioned earlier. Scotland reaching the finals of the Euros. That's excellent news for him. Let's just hope he can stay fit. Obviously, he picked up that nasty injury last season. In fact, it's the last time I was here at Villa Park. He got carried off early on at Southampton. And let's hope he can stay fit. He is a key player for Aston Villa.
Yeah, he's a massive player, and when he's fit and firing like he is this season, he's definitely one of the better players for sure.
Matty Cash, summer signing from Nottingham Forest. Tyrone Mings, he's seen plenty of football during the international breaking in an England shirt. It's Watkins, links with Grealish. Watkins again, squeezes it down the line. Lamptey got there just before Grealish. It will go out for a throw into Aston Villa, who have had slightly the better of the early exchanges. Nearly 8 minutes gone. Premier League live. And, it remains 0-0.
Looks like when Aston Villa are attacking, they've got a lot of players behind the ball, haven't they, Brighton? Looks like they're leaving 2 up front and everyone else is deep in their own half, so it's going to take a bit of brilliance for Aston Villa to get opportunities today, it looks like.
Don't forget we are on Twitter at TalkSport Live, and Abani Chisholm has tweeted us. Good day, guys. Today happens to be my birthday. Hoping to see a Villa win. Well, happy birthday, Abani. And, well, your wishes might come true here. Here is an Aston Villa free kick. It's a great delivery, and then it comes through to Trezeguet. It was a brilliant delivery by Traore. Not quite sure what Konza was doing, but Trezeguet came close. That's a good chance for Villa.
Yeah, great chance, great ball. That's what you want to do. You get the ball in the right areas, like Traore did there, and that could have easily been 1-0 to Aston Villa.
Konza seemed to duck behind it. He didn't see it until late, and Trezeguet really drilled it in. It was a good block at the near post by Ben White. Another throw into Aston Villa in an advanced position. Hooked into the penalty area by Cash. Goes Watkins, and it's safely dispatched wide for a corner by Ben White, who's played in every single Brighton and Hove Albion Premier League match this season. He's got some defending to do now. Villa putting the pressure on in this opening 10 minutes. This is the first corner of the game, and Jack Grealish is going to take it. He's complaining to the referee at the moment that Lamptey's only a couple of yards from the corner quadrant. He's taking it short, and it goes from Traore. Eventually Lamptey hooks it clear. It's going to be a throw into Aston Villa, and Jack Grealish is on site to take it for Aston Villa. Incidentally, just having a look here, the next 3 matches, West Ham away, Newcastle at home, Wolves away. Real opportunity there, Gabby, to pick up points.
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, if you're beating the top teams, you need to beat the teams like mid-table teams and get the points on the table. And Dean Smith will be looking at 9 points out of 9 for sure the next 3 games.
This is Matty Cash. Cross from Konza to Mings, who strides up towards the halfway line, finding Grealish, quickly delivered it forward towards Watkins, trying to release him. Good defending by Lewis Dunk. It's back with goalkeeper Matthew Ryan, who gets it onto his favoured left foot, the Australian international. Up in the air it goes. It's helped on by Solly March, who scored his one and only Premier League goal of the season against Manchester United. Here's Cash, rides past the challenger Dunk and pulls it back. Lallana is in there trying to win the ball for Brighton. Now Tyrone Mings thought about the shot from 30 yards. Instead he hooks it with his left foot wide towards Ollie Watkins, but it's too heavy for Watkins and out for a throw-in.
That was good play from Matty Cash though. That's what you want to see, you know. He's attacking here, a good 1-2 with Trezeguet, gets in behind. I mean, he could have went over at the challenge. He stays on his feet and then picks out an Aston Villa player. So great play from Matty Cash.
Made light work of Lewis Dunk. Skipped past the challenge. It was really good attacking play from Matty Cash. Was very highly thought of in the Championship for Nottingham Forest last season, and Villa took their chance with him. Now here is Welbeck. Now he's away. He's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. It's Danny Welbeck with a chance to give Brighton and Hove Albion the lead, and he does exactly that. That's what Danny Welbeck can do. His first goal for the Seagulls, and against the run of play, Brighton take the lead. Aston Villa 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1.
I mean, I want to see this again on the replay, but how did he get through so easily against the Villa defence? He's got the whole of the pitch to run into.
Well, he sprung from the halfway line quite literally. It was Mopay who held it up. And then the ball by, I think it was Gross, wasn't it? And away he goes.
It's a great goal, but it's amateur defending from Aston Villa. I mean, he runs in behind, Mings isn't following him, and I mean, it's such a disappointing goal to concede from Aston Villa.
Brighton have got the ball about 15 yards from the halfway line, and every single Aston Villa player is in the Brighton half.
Yeah.
It was easy for Welbeck.
I think sometimes you can maybe get a bit too confident when you're playing a team like Brighton and think that you can all go into the opposite half, but I mean, Dean Smith will be fuming at that goal.
A scrappy goal from an Aston Villa point of view, but a big goal for Brighton and Hove Albion. Wins are hard to come by, and they're very scarce at the moment. They could really do with one. Danny Welbeck, we all know that when he's fit and on form, what a capable player he is, and he had a lot to do there, picking the ball up from virtually the halfway line, running through, and he took it ever so well, didn't he? It was a brilliant finish.
He showed great pace. I mean, Mings is quick, but he couldn't get anywhere near him to try and get back. And great finish from Welbeck. I mean, if that was another player, we'd be going crazy about the way he dinked it over the keeper. So great finish once again from Welbeck, and I think that will give him the confidence he needs to get back to the form that we know he's capable of doing.
So Brighton leading here by 1-0, and it's no exaggeration. It has been their only attack of the game so far. They've barely crossed the halfway line, but the game plan is going to plan. Here's Lamptey, just inside the Aston Villa half. That will lift the spirits of the Brighton players. They've not had it all their own way this season against Manchester United. All the stats led in their favour. They hit the woodwork in that game 5 times and lost 3-2, didn't they, with a goal that was scored after the final whistle, we remember. So they've not had a lot of luck. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck, and that was presented to them by some sloppy Aston Villa defending. It was just a lack of concentration. Lamptey skipping down the line, but McGinn takes the ball off of him. He then goes to ground under the challenge of Bissouma. No fouls as a referee. Lallana shifts the ball to the left hand side, and Webster now Dunk. Lewis Dunk served that 3-match ban. It's a happy birthday for him so far, Lewis Dunk. 29 today, and his team leading by 1-0. It's Ben White. Empty. Lallana. And Ben White again, switching the ball from right to left. 15 minutes on the clock. Aston Villa 0. Brighton Hove Albion 1. Lallana dabs it wide to Solly Marsh. Gets it back again. Gross. Solly Marsh gets a good delivery in, and it was a good delivery too. Target with a header away, helped forward by Cash towards Trezeguet. Trezeguet skips past a challenge and then plays it infield, but it's a poor pass which lets in Lamptey. It's a good pass towards Welbeck, and this time Welbeck's first touch let him down. That could easily have been 2-0. What a chance for Brighton and Hove Albion.
Yeah, very sloppy play from McGinn, giving it away, and Lamptey, as he does, flies forward, and if it's a better touch from Danny Welbeck there, it's a goal. I mean, if he takes a little touch there rather than a big one, and you could side that into the bottom of the net, but sloppy start from Aston Villa, really. I think they've not started since Barkley's gone off injured.
Yeah, it was very sloppy from McGinn, but good play by Lamptey to react quickly, carry it up to the edge of the penalty area. Good pass into Welbeck. You kind of expect better from Welbeck. That's the type of player that he is. Here's Solly March, turns well to get away from Traore. 56% possession from Brighton. They lead this game by 1-0, but they've got some defending to do here. Trezeguet down the right hand side, trying to take on Ben White. Uses Traore, back to Trezeguet again, looking to get the cross in. Does eventually get the cross in. It's partially blocked by White, and eventually they clear their lines. Brighton and Hove Albion. Here's Mings and McGinn. Target down the line. It goes to Ollie Watkins, who's taken up residence down the left. McGinn cross into the box, but there's no one really there.
No, you look at your only striker you've got on is Watkins, and he's on the left. I think McGinn's got to do better there and keep the ball moving. But I think Aston Villa, they've not woken up yet. They've not started. It reminds me of the Southampton game last, where they lost before Arsenal. They didn't start the game very well, are doing that.
Well, we kind of expected one or two sluggish performances off the back of the international break this weekend in the Premier League, and so far it's been very sluggish from Aston Villa. Started brightly enough, but Brighton sprung with their only attack. They lead by 1-0. They've nearly made it 2 since. Here's Lamptey. Loves to get forward down that right-hand side, taking on Target. Target stood up and stood up well. Here's Grealish, who's disappeared from the fold really in the last 10 minutes or so. Dunk. First touch was a poor one, and that releases Watkins. He has to hold things up and wait for some support. Still Watkins. It's good running from him. Now Grealish back to Watkins. Watkins stood on the ball, but there is Trezeguet, and Trezeguet again.
He's got to score.
He's got to score, but he hasn't. He's put it over. What a chance for Villa. How on earth are they not level?
That was great play by Watkins and Grealish, and I think Watkins stays on his feet. He puts it in the back of the net, but Trezeguet has got to do better. I mean, I think that sort of sums Trezeguet up really in an Aston Villa shirt.
It all came from a mistake from Dunk. He kind of trod on the ball, didn't he? And that treading on the ball comes to haunt Ollie Watkins just a few moments later. First effort was blocked by Trezeguet. He tries to curl it in the top corner, but he's curled it wide.
Yeah, I just can't believe he's missed this. He's got a whole goal in front of him. I mean,
he's put it wide. I mean, you've got to hit the target at least, haven't you?
I think that's a sitter he's missed there. I mean, that has summed him up in an Aston Villa shirt, to be honest. He does everything right, but his final ball and final finish is like really bad.
There's Lamptey again for Brighton. On that right hand side, midway inside Aston Villa territory. This is Basuma. To the feet of Neil Maupay. The Frenchman goes down. No foul, says the referee, and Aston Villa have a chance to get forward. Lewis Dunk using every single millimetre of his tall frame to just steer that ball back to Matthew Ryan. The Brighton goal, and it's Maupay travelling forward for Brighton now. It's a good play to Lallana. Lallana on the left hand side. He's got Solly March in close attendance. Still Solly March. Can he get the cross in? He can't. It hits Cash. Goes to Lallana. March again. It's another chance to cross. Again, it's been blocked by Cash, and out for a throw-in to Brighton and Hove Albion. And, we hit the 20-minute mark here on Premier League Live. We are on Twitter at TalkSport Live. Drop us a tweet wherever you're listening around the world, and we'll endeavour to give you a mention. There's a few tweets coming in. We'll turn to them in just a second. But here's Watkins for Villa to Trezeguet. Steps inside of the presence of Pascal Gross. It's carried forward again by Trezeguet. Still going. Actually finding Traore. McGinn down the left now with Target. He's gone forward, level with the edge of the penalty area. Back to McGinn, weighing up his options. Brighton are well equipped at the moment. They've got bodies behind the ball. One of them is Basuma, who wins the ball back. Just tucks it back inside to Ben White, and White knocks it long. McGinn's got work to do, but he's been quite literally robbed by Tariq Lamptey, and Lamptey is through into the penalty area. Has to check back with Mings and McGinn on his shoulder, and McGinn's clearance has gone out of play for a throw-in to Brighton, and again there it's a little on the sloppy side from Aston Villa.
It's very sloppy from McGinn again there, and I think he underestimates Lamptey's speed here and his aggression, and on another day there I think Mings even slides so to give away a penalty, but Aston Villa, they need to wake up. They've been quite poor so far.
Well, Brighton and Albion will be very happy the way things have gone. McGinn again wanted a little bit too much time. Lallana nearly took it off of him, but here's McGinn with the ball at his feet to Mings. Tyrone Mings. Bernard Prempo Bonzu has tweeted us at TalkSport Live, Watkins and Grealish to make the difference, and so far that's not the case at all, because it's Brighton and Hove Albion that lead here by 1-0. Here's a man that could change it all. Jack Grealish finding Traore. Matty Cash. Hands it off for Trezeguet, wide on the right, cuts inside. Finding Traore. Traore thumps it towards goal. I don't know if that was the hand of Ryan or the post that stopped it, but either way, it was mighty close. The Australian goalkeeper got down well, and it's going to be a goal kick in the end, but a good chance again for Aston Villa, and a good strike from the substitute Bertrand Traore.
Yeah, this is what you want to see from Traore. We all know what his left foot can do, and it's a great save, isn't it, from the Brighton
right
keeper.
down.
It could have easily snuck in the near post there, but that's what you want to see from Aston Villa. Not everyone to just look at Grealish for the goals. There need to be goals from Traore, Trezeguet and other players.
Come Brighton again. Slowing things down. Slip as Webster plays a high ball across from left to right, but it was still accurate. Taken on the chest by Lamptey. And here's Webster again. They've worked it back across from right to left. Webster slipping it through to Welbeck, and here's a chance for number 2 for Brighton and Hove Albion, and a good stop by Martinez to deny Mopé. Could so easily have been 2, and it was all so simple for Brighton and Hove Albion. You almost expect Mopé to do better. It's a good bit of goalkeeping.
I can't believe how easily they're getting through. I mean, I know they're playing 2 up front, but the Aston Villa centre-halves are sleeping. I mean, it's so easy. Matty Cash was marking him, he didn't follow him. Concert isn't picking up anyone, and I think if you look at that, it's a massive chance for Mopé. He can even take it round the keeper there.
Absolutely.
They're not coping with the 2 up front, the 2 Aston Villa centre-halves.
No, not at all. It's well, there's been chances in this game at both ends, but you look at it, Brighton have had 2 very, very good chances since taking the lead.
Yeah.
Here's Target. Run straight into Basuma, who's happy to just knock the ball out of place for a throw. Now Grealish, 25 yards from goal. Screens it up to Luis. Luis thumps it towards goal, quickly blocked by Webster, who sprinted out to close the gap and did very well. Good defending. Here's Cash. Continues his run down the right hand side, the fullback. Cash, can he get the cross in? He can. And you heard in the empty stadium a big shout from the Australian goalkeeper, Matthew Ryan, keeper. Despite that scream that most people in Birmingham would have heard, Yves Bissouma obviously didn't. Because
the hard thing there, though, is even if the cross comes in, you look at Watkins, he's got 3 centre-halves on him, so they need Aston Villa to get more players in the box when Matty Cash gets them crosses in.
It's a cheap corner for Brighton to give away, given that Matthew Ryan called for that. Goalkeeper calls for it, you let him have it.
Yeah.
And, you know, if anything comes of this, then you'll look back at that. Here comes the corner. Good header from Duncan. He got distance on it as well. As far as Grealish. Grealish goes up for the header with Solly Marsh, wins it. Now Bertrand Traore. Traore hooks it in towards Mings. And then volley flies over the top of the crossbar. And an effort by Trezeguet. It was nowhere near the goal, was it?
No, it's unlucky from Trezeguet. At least he's getting into good areas and trying different efforts, but you can just tell already, can't you, that there's going to be a lot more goals in this game. It's going to be a high scoring game with the chances that each team have had. If both teams had took their chances, I think it would be 3-2 to Brighton by now.
Danny Welbeck, his 9th appearance against Villa. He's won the last 8 and he's scored now 5 goals in those. Well, this is his 9th game. Now, did that go out from Solly Marsh? Level with the edge of the penalty area, left hand side. No, says the referee, and the ball is looped in by Lallana, but it's an easy catch for Emiliano Martinez. And the Argentine goalkeeper quickly dispatches down the left hand side to Target.
What I don't like is that Mopé and Welbeck are turning on the ball far too easily. When Aston Villa get the ball to Watkins, he's got someone right on his back. So I think the Aston Villa defenders will have to get tighter.
Here come Villa with Grealish down the left hand side. Good close play by Grealish, curls it, and across goes Matthew Ryan to beat the ball behind for a corner. It was a curling effort from Grealish. Matthew Ryan was certainly not going to take any chances.
Yeah, I think he's looking for Watkins there. He's a bit, he's got a bit too much on it, but that's what we need to keep doing, Aston Villa, getting the ball in the box, making this Brighton defend.
I think it was probably going to drop wide, but like you say, it was more of a cross than a shot. It's a corner to Aston Villa. 27 minutes gone. Aston Villa 0, Brighton Hove Albion 1. Villa corner to be taken by Bertie Traore, who's fit again. Started the game on the bench, and if you just joined us, Ross Barkley limping off with a hamstring injury inside the opening 2 minutes. Here's Jack Grealish trying to tease his way past March. It wasn't a particularly good cross on the right hand side from Grealish. It's beaten away by Brighton. Cash starts things all over again for Aston Villa. Ball into the box by Traore, cleared away by Basuma. And now a chance for Lallana to set away Lamptey. Lamptey, the right back, is playing as a left winger, chasing away, but Villa do deal with that one. So they come forward with Douglas Luiz, the Brazilian. Played in the World Cup qualifiers during the international break for Brazil against Venezuela and Uruguay. There's Mings, who's also had a busy international break. Target back to Mings, and Villa will start again on the halfway line. Luis.
I think this is the sort of game where you need to get Grealish maybe in the 10 position where he is now to turn and make things happen.
There's McGee. Again back to Mings. Squares it to Ezri Konsa. Another Brentford link out there on the pitch. Of course, he's up against his former Brentford teammate today, Neil Maupay, who was a striker that had such a successful time at Brentford and has had a good time at Brighton since arriving from Brentford. Worked under Dean Smith at the old Griffin Park. Here's Solly March. A long ball forward down the left hand side. Maupay trying to push his way past Tyrone Mings. It nearly fell for him there, but he couldn't quite adjust quickly enough, and Martinez was out to pick the ball up. Now here's Grealish in that aforementioned number 10 role. Basuma's trying to make it difficult for him. Lana's there as well. Now Target, left wing cross, headed away by Ben White. It'll come to Cash, but Cash has lost out to Welbeck, and Welbeck strides forward up towards a halfway line. It's 2 against 2 momentarily there for Brighton, but it's been slowed down. Maupay to Pascal Gross. Now Lamptey in the right back position, but inside the Aston Villa half. White to Dunk. They'll be very happy, Brighton, won't they, Gabby, with the way things have gone so far?
Yeah, I think you look at it's a formation battle, isn't it? The formation that Brighton are playing at the moment is working perfectly. Whenever Watkins gets the ball, he's got 3 centre halves on him, and Aston Villa, their spare man is there. One of their centre midfielders who's not getting forward enough, so the tactics are working perfectly for Brighton, and it might be something Aston Villa need to change and try and play 2 up front.
Here come Brighton once more. Maupay couldn't make it stick, but they still have possession with Gross, who turns to the left and finds March. March takes a touch up against Cash. Good battle going on between those two. His cross finding Lamptey inside the penalty area. Lamptey has a look up. It just needed some sort of direction really there from Pascal Gross, but he didn't get the connection he wanted. In fact, it was Lallana, not Gross. He just snapped at it, didn't he? Didn't quite guided it as he would have liked. So
yeah, I think when I'm looking at this now, and you look at that play and the replay we're seeing, Lallana there, McGinn leaves Lallana, and Lallana's got the space of the penalty box on his own. I think Aston Villa, their midfielders, are not picking up runners, and they're leaving Lallana to make runs in the box unmarked, and I mean it's pretty poor defending really.
Trezeguet for Villa on the halfway line. 2 blue shirts closely guarding him. One of them is Adam Webster. It's back with goalkeeper Matthew Ryan, who gets plenty of height on his clearance. Taken on the chest by Trezeguet. It runs away from him and Webster picks it up again. Now Basuma to Lamptey. And Welbeck. And Lamptey continues his run right hand side. Real trouble here for Aston Villa with a good cross into the box. But it wasn't a particularly good cross in the end, and it fizzed away beyond the reach of March and out for a throw-in on this left-hand side, and that was a let-off for Villa because
this is becoming a real problem, Lamptey on this right-hand side, because I think Grealish isn't following him, so he's leaving him for Matt Target, but then Welbeck is not being picked up by Mings, so it's definitely a formation headache for Dean Smith at the moment, the way Aston Villa are playing.
And they had bodies forward as well there, Brighton. A good ball into the box could have been real problems for Villa. 13 minutes to go to half-time. Target away down the left-hand side. It's just too long for him. McGinn on the halfway line to Target, left-hand side for Aston Villa, bringing in Grealish from the left-hand side, cuts in, looking for options, not too many of them at the moment, and then a mistake by Traore. They do keep possession this time though, Aston Villa. Cash to Douglas Luiz, carries the ball forward, looking for options. Nearest option to him, Cash, takes over the mantle, and Traore, floated in by Target, taken down on the chest on the right hand side by Trezeguet, tries to get the cross in, it hits Solly March. Trezeguet then retrieves the ball in the quadrant by the corner flag, knocks it against Solly March, and it's another Aston Villa corner.
I think we're watching this game at the moment, it's a sort of game where you need a home crowd, 42,000 Villa fans like waking this team up, because it's been quite poor from them this half so far, and they don't look like they're hungry for goals at the moment.
It's a corner to Aston Villa, who are chasing this game with half-time creeping up on us. Traore's corner, glanced away by Bissouma. It'll come through to Conta. Now Ollie Watkins against Mopé. Watkins again, left-hand side. Can he get the cross in? He just slips as he goes to deliver the cross, and that results in a goal kick to Brighton and Hove Albion. Just slipped at the wrong time there, didn't he?
Yeah, 100%. But unlucky. He's showing for the ball, Watkins, and he's trying to make things happen. But the longer this game goes on, you look at, wouldn't Wesley be a perfect man to bring on in this game? Change your formation, go two up front with Watkins and Wesley, because he looks quite alone up there at the moment. I think he needs Grealish to get a lot closer to him.
Dean Smith has just celebrated his 2 years in charge of Aston Villa. In fact, his first game in the Championship, when they were down nearer the bottom than the top, was a home match against Graham Potter's Swansea here at Villa Park on October the 20th, 2018. And Villa won that 1-0. And you think what he's done in 2 years, Gabby, he's done a terrific job, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been outstanding, and it always helps when you're a Villa fan taking a job. He knows what it means. He shows the passion in the way he approaches the game, and hopefully he can be another 2 years as just as good.
Ball over the top, and Welbeck is chasing. Mings is chasing Welbeck, and Welbeck gets there first, but Mings has done well, stood up to the task, and then rolls the ball into Luiz, who turns to find Scotsman McGinn, who lofts it over the top. It's one for Trezeguet to chase. He cuts inside. Can he get the shot in? He can, and it fizzes just off target. That's a chance. Trezeguet taking up residence momentarily on the left-hand side, cutting inside. Couldn't hit the target though.
Yeah, that was unlucky. It was good play from. Well, he's onside. I think that was good play from Trezeguet. He just needs to try and get some of these shots on target. He does the hard thing here, cuts inside. If he can get this on target, then it gives the chance for Watkins to get a tap in, but he needs to hit the target, Trezeguet.
So a goal kick, and Matthew Ryan is in no particular hurry to take it. Don't forget we are on Twitter at TalkSport Live. You are listening to Premier League Live. Paul Nwabodo has tweeted, great goal. You guys keep me glued to my radio, listening from Port Harcourt in Nigeria through Niger FM. And Brighton leading here by 1-0 on a ground where they have never won. This is their 13th attempt. Maybe it's 13th time lucky.
Welbeck's causing all sorts of problems for this bit of defence. He's making runs in behind, and the two Aston Villa centre halves, they don't know which one to follow the runners. I think as well, they're not used to having two strikers play against them, because not a lot of teams in the Premier League play two front men up top.
They have been fairly solid for the most part at the back this season, Aston Villa. One of the better defensive records in the division, but today, like you say, Gabby, it has been exposed.
Yeah, it's been very poor, but hopefully they can do better the rest of the game and try and get back into it.
Solly March just inside Villa half. 1-2 between him and Gross, and then an angled ball from the left hand side in towards Welbeck on the right hand side of the penalty area. Tries a backheel, he backheels it against his other leg, then brings it under control, finds Lamptey then loses it, wins it back again. It's a bit scrappy, and cleared away by Cash to Louise, and fortune was favouring Brighton there on a couple of instances, but Villa have got it clear. Now Grealish driving forward from the halfway line, slightly right of centre, jinking past Lallana, going to ground, and that's a free kick. In fact, it was Gross, not Lallana. Getting those two muddled up. And,
he's just so much better though when he's on the left hand side, isn't he? I don't know what it is. When he's on the right hand side, it looks like he's not as enjoying it as much.
No.
I really want to see him coming from the left. That's where he's at his best, Grealish.
The Villa captain is sizing up the options with this free kick, and Bertie Traore is there as well. Brighton have got all 11 players back in that penalty area to try and combat this threat from Aston Villa with just over 7 minutes left in the first half. It's Grealish who carves it in, and it might just come down. It's stopped by Ryan on the line. It was dropping, and there on the end of it was Ollie Watkins, who wasn't brave enough really, and Ryan just kicked it off the line whilst colliding with the post. All very bizarre, but Villa still coming forward up towards Tyrone Mings again. It's good defending by Dunk, who leant into Mings and saw the ball go behind for a goal kick. Unconventional, but a good save nonetheless from Matthew Ryan.
Yeah, we're looking at the replay now. Yeah, he's onside, Mings. I think if it's a less bit height on the ball, I think that Watkins gets there, but you're right, Watkins isn't brave. He doesn't go in there to head the ball, but another good chance for Aston Villa.
Yeah, it needed a bit of bravery at the back post, and Watkins, no, he didn't really fancy that. I don't think I would have either, but I know a few strikers that might have. So Gross picks it up and does the simple thing to Basuma, 1-2, and then Lallana. Bit of time and a bit of space on the left hand side for Solly March. Jogging back to try and close things down is Traore, but Solly March is now up towards the edge of the penalty area for Brighton and Hove Albion. It's passed through the legs of Gross and into Basuma. Adam Webster, former Portsmouth man, wide to Solly March. That's a good looking ball into the box. Diving header from Konza, gets the ball away, and now Luis travels up towards the halfway line and sends it wide to Grealish, right hand side. Jack Grealish into the penalty area, low ball in, Ollie Watkins, and it slithers just the wrong side of the post. It was good defending by, I think it was Ben White back there, but that's a good chance for Aston Villa.
Yeah, great counter attack from Aston Villa. Grealish, great run on that right hand side, and it looks like he might have been offside, but he was onside. It's a great tackle. I think it might be by White, because Watkins should be scoring that. Yeah, it's a great tackle from White.
Good tackle. Had to get the ball, and he did, didn't he?
Yeah, great play from the Brighton defender, because that was a destined goal from Watkins.
There's Cash. Hoops it in, and again it's White who clears, only as far as target. There's no one far enough downfield to put in the challenge for Brighton and Hove Albion. Everyone behind the ball. Here's Grealish, right hand side, up against Solly Marsh, edging his way to the edge of the penalty area. It's a good bit of play by Grealish to bring in Cash. Cash blocked by Welbeck. Another Aston Villa corner.
Yeah, it's more good play though from Aston Villa there. He's got to keep this pressure on now, because they're getting some good chances and they're not getting the luck they need to get the goal, but if they keep knocking on the door, I'm sure they'll get this goal against Brighton.
It's a sixth corner, Aston Villa, but they trail here by 1-0. 6 clean sheets in their last 11 in the Premier League. 7 of the last 11. Some decent form. Corner comes in from Traore. Lamptey eventually volleys it clear. Having said that, Aston Villa's home form has kind of fallen a bit flat of late. Leeds and Southampton both came here and won in the last 2 home games. Traore for Villa. Back to Matty Cash, the right back, just inside the Brighton and Hove Albion half. Lofts a high ball into the feet of Trezeguet. Now McGinn slips it nicely in to Ollie Watkins. Traore back to Cash. Cash driving forward. Good run this by Matt Cash. The pullback turned away by Basuma. Matt Cash again. That's really good play by the fullback. Now Grealish for Aston Villa. Little step over onto the right foot. Now onto the left foot. The shot is blocked. It couldn't quite reach Ollie Watkins, who was falling back, and it spins away for another Aston Villa corner. Another great run there from Matty Cash. Loves to get forward. Been really impressed with what I've seen of him this season.
Yeah, that's what you want to see from your modern day fullbacks now. They need to be able to attack and have quality on the ball, and I think Matty Cash is one of them that's doing it in the Premier League.
Ever present this season, Matty Cash. Comes the corner. Again, thought about helping it on, left it in the end. Brighton got it clear, and that's a foul on Basuma by Traore.
Yeah, I think that's a good foul though. You look at that and he doesn't foul him, he might run through there, Lamptey, so great tactical foul from Traore there.
Yeah, it could have been away.
Yeah.
He's certainly got the pace to cause a lot of problems if he keeps that ball in play, which he probably would have done.
Yeah, for sure. This is a great foul from Traore, but Aston Villa have got some positive to take out this first half so far, because on another day they would have scored a couple of goals for sure.
Well, both teams will look at missed chances. Welbeck's goal, the difference between the two. It's been an intriguing game. It's been an entertaining game, and there have been chances. It's not been boring at all. There's Dunk. Long volley downfield. That's a typical central defender's clearance, that right into touch on this near side in the Aston Villa half. Gets the ball down the other end of the ground and out of sight for a minute. Here's Cash to McGinn. Gets away from Welbeck and uses his instep of his left foot to find Targett. Targett's continued his run down the left, but Trezeguet comes inside and finds Grealish. Grealish is surrounded by not one, not two, not three, but four Brighton players. Targett tried the back heel. It's been won back by Mopé, who's back there defending. He's prepared to put a shift in, and then Mopé is caught by Targett, and that's going to be a yellow card for Matt Targett, first caution of the day.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing there, Targett. I think he might have been caught earlier on in the move from Mopé, and now Mopé's Targett, see, he got caught there. We look at the replay from Mopé and he's left one on him here.
Yeah,
he doesn't look happy, Matt Targett. I think he needs to calm down, especially now he's on a yellow card.
Well, yeah, that makes things interesting. Up against Lamptey and up against Welbeck. It's been a difficult afternoon so far for Matt Targett. He's been kept busy with his defensive duties. 30 seconds of the first half plus injury time remaining. Aston Villa trailing here by 1-0. Danny Welbeck with the only goal of the first half. It's going to be Ryan with the free kick. 63% possession in the last 5 minutes for Aston Villa. And well and truly on top. But they've got some defending to do here. Header away from Konsa. Just 1 minute of added time. It's been pretty free-flowing, apart from 1-goal celebration and the injury to Barkley, which resulted in...
Yeah, it's been like you said, an entertaining game, and Aston Villa were disappointed to go in at 1-0, but they've still got hope in this game because they've made many chances this first half.
As Welbeck couldn't quite get there ahead of Trezeguet. Headed by Webster. Suma eventually brought it down. Gross helped on by Lallana, and off goes Lamptey again. Lamptey on the right hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area, trying to tease his way into that penalty area, lofts it deep into the box. Welbeck heads it down, can't get enough power on it, and Konsa is able to clear before the ball reaches Mopé. It's back with Lamptey again. It's been given away cheaply by Aston Villa. Still Lamptey trying to edge it wide towards Mopé, but it was intercepted by McGinn, and then referee Michael Oliver blows for half time. It's been a captivating first half. Chances at both ends, but Aston Villa were caught out in the 12th minute with a breakaway goal for Brighton and Hove Albion from Danny Welbeck, who has an excellent record against Villa, and it's his goal that has Brighton and Hove Albion in the driving seat at half time. It's Aston Villa 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Get ready and hold on tight, because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track, and who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football. Plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
Create the Premier League atmosphere at home with Harvey Norman, the home of the big screen. Feel like you're on the pitch with our stunning range of 4K smart LED and OLED TVs from LG, starting from just $449. Plus, hear every kick, save, tackle, decision with LG's best-in-class soundbars. Get TV ready for all the big games with Harvey Norman. Shop online today or safely in our spacious stores. Harvey Norman, home of the big screen.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the Ford Transit Custom from €290 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford Lease or text Ford to 50015 to speak to us about leasing your next vehicle.
Text cost to standard rate. Price quoted for Transit Custom Base with no maintenance over 4 years with 3 monthly rentals in advance. 20,000 kilometres per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford Lease is provided by Marion Fleet Management, trading as Ford Lease.
123ink.ie for all your home office needs, including printers, ink, toners, paper, label markers, binders,
pens, bins, batteries, boxes, chalk, compass, files, memory sticks, highlighters, glue, notepads, pencils,
Whoa! And we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123ink.ie for home, for office, for less.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Go for a walk. Walk the dog. Go cycling. Cycle the dog. Recycle the dog. Just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. If one leg of your 4+ fold ACCA lets you down, get a free bet on all football leagues and markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Need help? Visit gamblingcare.ie.
We've reached half-time here at Villa Park. Brighton and Hove Albion have the best of it so far. They're leading by 1-0 at the break. Let's listen to the first half highlights. Now here is Welbeck. Now he's away. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. It's Danny Welbeck with a chance to give Brighton and Hove Albion the lead, and he does exactly that. That's what Danny Welbeck can do. His first goal for the Seagulls, and against the run of play, Brighton take the lead. Aston Villa 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. Grealish back to Watkins. Watkins stood on the ball, but there is Trezeguet, and Trezeguet again.
He's got to score.
He's got to score, but he hasn't. He's put it over. What a chance for Villa. How on earth are they not level? Grealish who carves it in, and it might just come down. It's stopped by Ryan on the line. It was dropping, and there on the end of it was Ollie Watkins, who wasn't brave enough really, and Ryan just kicked it off the line whilst colliding with the post. All very bizarre. Grealish into the penalty area, low ball in, Ollie Watkins, and it slithers just the wrong side of the post. It was good defending by, I think it was Ben White back there, but that's a good chance for Aston Villa. That's how things have shaped up in the first 45 minutes. Plenty of opportunities in front of goal for both sides, Gabby.
Yeah, it's been an entertaining game. I mean, Brighton have looked very strong. They've been probably the better team in chances created, especially for Mopai and Welbeck. They've been a handful for the Aston Villa 2 centre-halves, but Aston Villa have had their chances as well, and if Trezeguet looks back at that chance he had, which he hit wide, I mean, he has to score that for me, and maybe we would have been looking at 2-2 going into half-time, but looking at the second half, I can only see more goals and Aston Villa getting their shooting boots on and scoring.
I was going to say 2-2 sounds a fair reflection of what we've seen, but Aston Villa won't be pleased with the way that they defended on a couple of occasions in the first half. It wasn't a particularly good start for them. Ross Barkley going off after 2 minutes with a hamstring injury, so he could be out for a little while. And then the defending in the 12th minute for the goal was not good at all. They were completely caught all outside their own half, and Welbeck took the chance very well, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think when you look at the goal that Manchester United conceded away in Turkey, it was a bit like that, wasn't it? I mean, Welbeck had the whole half to run into, and I think when you're defending the Premier League, you have to give teams respect. You can't think to yourself that they're not good enough to make these runs and the whole of the defence push up to the halfway line, because if you look at Mopai and Welbeck, they have a lot of pace as well, so very naive defending from Aston Villa, and I'm sure there will be queries at half time.
It's very nearly 2-0. Welbeck, on this occasion, after being fed by Lamptey, just let himself down with the first touch, didn't he? And we also saw Mopai 1-on-1, well saved by Martinez. But you look back at that Trezeguet chance and Traore as well, and how haven't Aston Villa scored?
Yeah, you look at the Watkins could have maybe had one as well, and I think that's a frustrating thing for Aston Villa fans and even the manager himself, looking at the positions that Trezeguet gets himself into. He can do a lot better and score and assist more goals, which he doesn't. But I think second half, I'm sure they'll get themselves a right telling off from Dean Smith at half time and come out the second half and trying to get the ball in the back of the net, because it's not been a poor first half from Aston Villa, just a bit sloppy in their defending, really.
I thought they were poor at times last season, Aston Villa at the back, but they haven't necessarily brought in too many defensive players. Matty Cashew's had a good game at right back, but I think they've defended very well this season, but they've been exposed on a couple of occasions, as we've mentioned in the first half. But going forward, does he change anything, or is he going to be saying more of the same?
Yeah, I think it's really hard for him to change anything at the moment. I think for me, I think bringing Traore on maybe wasn't the right option. I think I would have kept Grealish on the left and maybe brought Horahan on, who's been unlucky not to start the last 4 or 5 games because he started the season in good form. So for me, they probably need Horahan on there, because when you look on the edge of the box, he's the sort of player that can get that long range strike when you're playing a team who are doubling up on Grealish, doubling up on Watkins. You know, you need that midfield player who can score from long range, and I think Horahan could be the difference.
Well, earlier on today, Chelsea went top of the Premier League with a 2-0 victory up at St James's Park against Newcastle United. TalkSport's Nigel Adley caught up with Frank Lampard after the match.
Frank, in the end, it was a very comfortable victory, but you had to show your quality.
Yeah, I think so, and we maybe could have made it more comfortable with our finishing in front of goal. We created quite a few big chances against the team this season. They're one of the best at not giving big chances away, because they defend so resolutely, and we created, scored our 2 goals, another clean sheet for us, so I'm pleased. Not easy after international break to come to a place like here and win convincingly, so I'm happy.
And Timo Werner, of course, had a difficult international break in the end, but the assist for the second goal was outstanding.
Yeah, it was outstanding. That's what Timo has. He has electric pace. You know, to travel the ball whilst dribbling at that pace is something that's not unique, but it's a top level play. And he had a couple of chances which he created for himself today as well, which he'd have wanted to score, but to be getting those positions and then to have the selflessness to find Tammy for that second goal was great play by him. I was pleased I could give him some minutes rest as well, and give Callum a chance later on in the game.
How many more attacking talents do you believe you have, maybe compared to 12 months ago?
Well, I don't know. We obviously looked at the idea of recruiting through the long season last year with a ban, where we had time to look at it, and we know that players of that level in attacking areas, Timo, Kai, Hakim Ziyech has come in and been important for us, can add and can. For instance, last year we're here and had, I think, 18 shots and don't score and lose the game. Today we come here and we get our goals and we win the game. So it's been important for us, but it's always a team effort, and I'm happy with where we're at the moment, but there is certainly room for improvement still.
And 3 clean sheets in succession away from home in the Premier League, that must be satisfaction, because that was an issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and you have to work to solve problems or issues, and the players are doing that. The personnel on the pitch are doing that. It's great for their confidence. You can see the smiles on the faces, particularly at the back end of the pitch when they get their clean sheets, and it's not easy to do that here. They have to work hard for it, the physical nature of Newcastle's game at times, and I was pleased with the players' reactions.
That was Frank Lampard talking to TalkSport's Nigel Adley after Chelsea went to the top of the tree with a 2-0 win at Newcastle United in the early game. A quick reminder that we've got some more action coming your way. This is the second instalment of 4. Tom Rennie and Kit Simons are at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City. That should be an absolute cracker coming up straight after the second half here at Villa Park. And then Manchester United against West Bromwich Albion. Andrew Self and Paul Parker, your commentary team for that. Just quickly before we go to the break and into the second half, Gabby, been in two right backs today. Been very impressed. Matty Cash and Tariq Lamptey. Love to get forward. Been very impressed with them both.
Yeah, I mean, Lamptey's been the outstanding right back today. Matty Cash has done very well as well, but when you've got that speed that Lamptey's got, it's causing Aston Villa a problem because Grealish isn't tracking him, and you don't want Grealish tracking him that far back, and when he gets towards Matt Target, he's got the beating of him as well. So it's bringing Mings across, which leaves gaps for Welbeck and Maupay to run into. So Lamptey's causing Villa a lot of problems, and he's done it to every team he's played against this season. He's definitely one of the best right backs that England have got.
Second half coming right up here at Villa Park. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Demanding a high performance from your team? You should be demanding the same from your tyres. The Irish Tyre Industry Association is urging motorists to stay safe this winter and check the condition of your tyres. You could even be liable for a fine and 2 penalty points if found driving with tyres below the legal tread depth limit of 1.6 millimetres. ITIA expert technicians will carry out a free tyre safety check to ensure your tyres are safe and legal. Visit itia.ie to find your local expert.
As Ireland's homegrown insurer, FPD knows it's empowering when someone has your back. So switch your van insurance to us and get up to 75% no-claim discount. Visit fpd.ie to request a quote. FPD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms, conditions and underwriting criteria apply. 75% no-claims discount is based on proof of 5 years no-claims discount and available to new commercial motor customers only. FPD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FPD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FPD Insurance plc.
Upgrade your home viewing experience at Curry's PC World. See every tackle, shot and goal in crystal clear definition with our huge range of the latest to market large screen TVs with massive savings. Like save up to €130 on Samsung 4K TVs from only $459. And get your TV for half price. 1 in 20 win half their money back. Buy any LG OLED TV to enter with prices from just $1,249. Shop the full range online at currys.ie.
Get ready and hold on tight because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track and who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football. Plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Go for a walk. Walk the dog. Go cycling. Cycle the dog. Recycle the dog. Just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. If one leg of your 4+ Fold ACA lets you down, get a free bet on all football leagues and markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Need help? Visit gamblingcare.ie.
You're listening to Talk Sports coverage of Aston Villa against Brighton and Hove Albion from Villa Park. I'm your host Barry Swain. Alongside me, the former Aston Villa and England striker Gabby O'Bon-Lahore. This is Premier League Live. The second half is coming up right here. It's been an intriguing first half. Graham Potter is chewing his gum with his hands in his nice warm overcoat. It's a chilly afternoon here in the Midlands. As his Brighton side come out for the second half, leading by that 1-0. Danny Welbeck scoring the only goal of the first half after 12 minutes. And Welbeck will be celebrating his 30th birthday next Thursday. So an early birthday present to himself there with that finish. His first goal for Brighton and Hove Albion following his move on a free transfer following his release from Watford, who of course were relegated last season. Sudden burst of the trumpet, and Aston Villa are on their way from the dressing rooms out the tunnel and onto the pitch, led by their captain Jack Grealish, their go-to man, who they'll be looking to go to in the second half for some inspiration to try and get back into this game. They've certainly had their opportunities. Both sides will look back on missed chances, that's for sure. So this is a big 45 minutes for Brighton. It was a victory for them here, would take them further away from that bottom three, and they are making a defensive change, and it's going to be Veltman to come on. I'm just trying to see, I think it might be for Lewis Dunk. Could you see that, Gabby?
I think it might be Lallana.
Is it Lallana? I couldn't see the board.
It was number 14, I'm sure.
You're right, actually, yes. Yeah. It held the board from this angle. It's such an angle that I couldn't quite see it. But yeah, it's Veltman.
That's worrying for Lallana, isn't it, to have got another injury?
Yes, that's not what Brighton and Hove Albion need. So Veltman is on. It'll be interesting to see how things shape up. Will they go to a back four and push on perhaps Solly Marsh into midfield?
I think it looks like Ben White's got into midfield.
Yeah, because he can play there.
Yeah, he's gone into centre midfield.
Yeah, so Lallana off and Veltman is on. So Villa on the ball at the moment. We'll run through the two teams in just a second. Just McGinn to target. Now Mings. Trezeguet. Just a little short for Grealish. Foul was by Gross on target. He was on a yellow card, of course, the only caution of the first half. Quickly run through the teams. Aston Villa first of all, Emiliano Martinez in goal. Back four of Cash, Konza, Mings and Target. Louise, McGinn, Traore, Trezeguet and Grealish in midfield, and Watkins in attack. We've got Steer, Hurahan, Barkley, Taylor, Al Mahadi, Nakamba and El Ghazi on the bench. We'll go for the Brighton team in a second, but here's Traore's delivery. It's a good delivery, and there was Konza to make it 1-1. Endry Konza sweeps the ball home, and 1 minute 7 seconds into the second half, Aston Villa are back level. Esri Konza up from the back, and he made no mistake, guiding the ball beyond the reach of Matthew Ryan, and it's the perfect start to the second half for Aston Villa.
Yeah, great ball from Traore. I mean, look, Konsa's clever. He makes a late run. It's a great ball from Traore, late run from Konsa, and a great finish. I think this is what Aston Villa have needed. One of these set pieces to go in, and now they have the confidence to go on and definitely try and win this game, because you can see there's going to be a lot more chances in it for Aston Villa.
Esri Konsa's first goal of the season. Not the easiest of chances to take. He's had to slide in and guide the ball, and he's done well.
It's a perfect time to score as well. The confidence now in this Aston Villa team must be sky high.
You would put them down as favourites to win this game now, and well, then they need another 3 goals and they'll go top of the table as well for good measure.
Never say never.
Martinez. Well, it's a marathon, not a sprint now, I'll tell you, but it'd be nice for them to spend an hour on top of the table. You'd expect maybe Manchester City and Spurs. If Spurs can win at home to Manchester City later, they would then take over at the top. There have been 4 teams at the top of the table in one day, if that were to be the case. And, Villa have made a good start to this second half, and they now have a corner which Jack Grealish is going to take. It's their 8th corner of the match. Konza's up again. McGinn, the short corner, Traore, the deep ball in, and an interesting header from Mopé, one of the shortest players on the pitch, heading the ball a good 10 yards back to his own goalkeeper in a crowded penalty area, and back to Matthew Ryan, who can settle things down. Brighton, just quickly run through their line-up, that one change at half-time. Matthew Ryan in goal, back 3 of Dunk, Veltman and Webster, with the 2 wing-backs, Lamptey and March, Gross, Basuma and White in midfield. White's pushed on from the back, and Welbeck and Mopé in attack. They've got Steele, Yakumbach, Alzate, Connolly, Malumbai and Byrne on the bench. It's thrown to Brighton Hove Albion. Lamptey short sleeve shirt, but also some gloves as well.
The arms don't get cold, just the hands.
Just the hands. I can relate to that, actually.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's like you can walk around in shorts this time of year with a coat on, but it's not your legs. As long as your feet and hands are warm. It's a free kick. Lamptey's been fouled by Trezeguet.
You look at this game as well. If after 90 minutes Aston Villa haven't won this game, it'd be very frustrating for Dean Smith, because when they're beating the teams like Arsenal and Liverpool, you have to be beating Brighton at home. Like we said earlier, this is a definite must-win for Aston Villa.
And they are back in the game with that early second half goal. That would have been Dean Smith's desire to get that goal back and equalise. And it's taken the wind out of Brighton as Trezeguet has wandered into an offside position on this left-hand side. So a free kick to Brighton and Hove Albion.
What happened to playing on until?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking at the back of my mind. I think he played on until such time that that was the first offside of the game. We're statistically informed. We've got some defending to do now. Tyrone Mings has gone across, helped on by Gross. It's too heavy for Neil Maupay. It's all evenly poised. Brighton have got to keep their heads up and not let this early goal in the second half affect them. Here's Lamptey inside to White. He's really versatile, isn't he, White? And solid player. Made a couple of really good challenges in the first half. He's a player that we mentioned in the first half. Leeds United definitely wanted him, but Brighton were keen to hold on to him.
Yeah, he's a great player, and I just want to see more of him defensively though, because you look at the Manchester United game, Rashford ripped him open, so he's great on the ball, but I want to see more of him defending.
There's Tyrone Mings with an overhit back pass which goes beyond the reach of the sliding Martinez, and behind for Brighton and Hove Albion's first corner of the game, and a chance
this can be the problem sometimes when players always want to play backwards all the time. I mean, that position, just clear it up the pitch, put it into the channels for Watkins. You don't have to always put it back to the keeper and put pressure on him.
As I mentioned, first corner of the game for Brighton, who have lost Lallana, we suspect through injury, and of course we've seen Ross Barkley with a hamstring injury go off very early on. Comes the corner from Gross, nearly come through for Webster, cleared away by Aston Villa. Can go out for a throw in on that far side, just in front of those two technical areas occupied by the two managers. Basuma has the ball in his hands, bounces it on the ground and leaves it for Solly March, who's still making his way across. Solly March has been nursing an ankle injury. He's back from injury today to make his 98th Premier League appearance for the club. To the back of the defender went Maupay, and that's a free kick through the back of Luiz. Still pleading his innocence, the Frenchman, but
I think as well, Aston Villa can find it hard when they're playing against a team who are playing quite defensive.
Aston Villa 10 points better off than this time last season, or this stage of last season. They won their first four, of course. First time since the 1930s that they won their first four games at the opening end of the season.
Maupay causing trouble again. He likes to wind up at opposition players.
Yep, he's got an opinion. I mean, he's got an opinion there, but it was definitely a nudge in the back of Luiz. I think there was more to it than just the nudge in the back. But referee today, Michael Oliver, has cleared that one up with a quick word with the two players involved. Here's Grealish turning down the right hand side and finding Traore trying to tease his way in towards the penalty area. Standing in his way is Webster to make it difficult. It's back to Grealish again on the right hand side, cuts inside and finds Luiz. Traore onto the left foot, back to Luiz, just tucks it wide. Cash, first time ball into the box, nodded away by Dunk, gets good distance on it as well. Maupay rolls the challenge of Cash and finds Solly March to Lamptey darting forward, diminutive little player through towards Welbeck, and it just run away from Welbeck, and quickly off his line was Martinez. And it goes down as a chance, but it just wouldn't slow down for Welbeck, would it?
It's far too easy as well, though, to get him through. It's far too easy when Welbeck runs through. Conson and Mings really need to sort out who's going to follow the runners, because none of them are at the moment.
Aston Villa got another corner. Grealish has won the corner off of the last touch from Dunk, who's happy to put it wide because he was a little exposed. Here's a curling effort towards goal from Douglas Lewis, but it's easily handled by Matthew Ryan, the former Valencia goalkeeper who started 118 of the 123 Premier League matches that Brighton have ever played in, which is a club record. It's Basuma.
I think this will suit Aston Villa, though, if this turns into an open game end to end, because once you get Grealish on the ball 1v1, that's what he's dying for.
There's more about Villa going forward, isn't there? So, but Brighton's early goal has given them real hope. Slip from Matty Cash as he clears. Still a decent looking ball up towards Watkins. Traore. Was he tripped by Solly March? No, says referee Michael Oliver. March inside to Basuma. And White keeps it moving. Solly March again. Over the halfway line now. Hugging that far touchline. Basuma across the face of the centre circle. Veltman, the Dutch international, signed in July from Ajax. Started the last three whilst Doug's been suspended. Back on the bench today. Here's Basuma, fed by March. Veltman again. Slide rule pass into the feet of Mopé. Now Gross. Pull back. Might come here for Solly March. Oh, splendid goal. Solly March pulled the trigger with the right foot, and it lands in the top corner, and Brighton and Hove Albion are back in the lead. And take your hats off to Solly March. Brilliant finish. Aston Villa 1, Brighton 2.
Yeah, it's a great finish from Solly March, and it's a great bit of play by Brighton. They take their time, they find the right pass, and it's a great finish. Goalkeeper had no chance.
It's a good pass as well from Gross. He's got good vision to pick out Solly March. As he picks it up on the right hand side, he's pulled back through a crowd, and it's teed up nicely. He's got plenty of time to think about what he's going to do, but executing it sometimes can be the difficult one. If you look at that in slow motion,
it bobbled as well in front of him as well. Yeah,
it bobbled.
It's a great finish from
a
Solly
little
March.
bobble. It wouldn't have gone in if it didn't bobble. Great finish.
Yeah, it's a great finish, but how can someone of his qualities be unmarked there? You've got to look at the Aston Villa defence once again. And
Brighton are back in the lead in a funny old game, isn't it? Brighton took the lead when Aston Villa were on top, and we're standing here saying Villa the favourites. Villa should go on and win this game potentially, and then suddenly Brighton strike first chance of each half, and they've taken it.
Yeah.
Now here's Lamptey, not content at 2-1. Lamptey does well. It's a cross in. It's not a cross that gets beyond Mings though. Here's Luis. Back to Mings. Takes a couple of touches. The England international to Target. Former Southampton man, of course, down on the south coast. Matt Target.
This is what when Brighton want, though. They want Villa to be chasing the goal. They lose it. They've got the counter attack. See, this is what they want. They want Aston Villa to be pushing people on and taking chances.
You promise goals, Gabby. You promise goals, and you're living up to it. It's been an entertaining game. You know, these games can sometimes peter out into drab affairs, but this one's nice to watch.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's formations, and the Brighton formation is coming out on top, because you look at that goal there, and Solly March playing left wing back, probably got no right really to be in the box there, but he's in there, and it's a great finish from him.
Aston Villa looking to edge their way back into the game once again. Here's McGinn. Ball in towards Webster, who struggles to get it away, only as far as Luis. Takes a touch on that half volley, but the Brazilian fires it over the top. Kind of expecting better, won't you?
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I mean, watching this Villa team in the moment, and I think Barkley going off so early has it's ruined the balance really, because Grealish looks better from the left than he's looking in the centre. Maybe it's worth them changing back to Trezeguet on the right, Traore as number 10 and Grealish on the left, because his best form this season has been as a left winger.
You're listening to Premier League Live at TalkSport Live on Twitter. It's a chance for Trezeguet. Feeds it into Traore. Wouldn't quite come for him. Solly March got a vital foot in the earliest opportunity. There's Konza. He's fouled. Free kick to Aston Villa. Talking about being on Twitter at TalkSport Live, DJ Keefe has tweeted us at TalkSport Live saying he's playing a little Pro Evo and listening to our fun commentary. I'll finish that tweet off in a second, because here is Ollie Watkins, who runs into a brick wall. Lamptey can bring it away. Yeah, he was saying that love the club football and at his back Nations League is a massive bore. Well, I can't disagree with you there, I have to say. DJ Keefe. Now here's a ball through the middle for Brighton and Hove Albion, and little Terrier Mopate will continue to chase, even though it's a lost cause. But Villa get it away, only as far as the head of Webster, who cushions it forward. Basuma, who's putting a shift in the middle of that midfield, wins the ball for Brighton. Dunk, and Webster can just turn with the ball at his feet and calm things down for Brighton and Hove Albion. Basuma.
I'd really like to see Horahan come on and create that balance in midfield that they're missing at the moment, Aston Villa.
They need something. They need to change something, don't they? They're just a little flat. They had that spell when they got the goal back and they looked on top, and then suddenly, bang, Brighton score. And it's all up in the air again. Here's Basuma.
You look again there though, Welbeck's bringing the ball down and he's got no pressure on him. No one's in his back, giving him a bit of a push. That's what's been the difference today. Villa defenders have not laid a finger on the two strikers for Brighton.
Here is Welbeck. That's the vision to send it to the right, and Lamptey, who's got loads of time and space. It's a deep cross. Does March keep it in? Now there's a shout of a handball, but I think it's actually the referee's whistle is going to be for the ball going out of play. I think that's what they're saying, is the ball's gone out of play, I think, Gabby. But the Brighton players were appealing to the referee for a handball. I think it was Cash.
Yeah, but I think it was already out of play. But
yeah, it was, yeah.
For me, it's they're working the ball very well, Brighton. They're finding the gaps that they need. You look at how they played there, Lamptey getting the ball, and it's once again he's been a big problem for Aston Villa. Lamptey targets getting forced inside, and I mean Trezeguet I think was playing left wing, he's not following him.
Ball forward by Minks. The target is Traore, who's operating down the right hand side, Trezeguet down the left, and Grealish with the number 10 role. It seems Villa trailing once again here by 2-1, having got themselves back into the game with a goal after just 1 minute and 7 seconds of this second half. Long ball forward towards Watkins, takes it down, but then the weight of his body takes him away from his second touch, and they're able to clear, but not for long. Ollie Watkins picks up on some sloppy defending. Here's Grealish. Traore trying to feed in Watkins. It was too intricate, and there were too many blue shirts back there, and Brighton and Hove Albion are able to clear the ball downfield, and Villa will start again. Again, foul by Welbeck. Still having a good tussle. There's a smile on the face of Welbeck, but they're having a good tussle there, McGinn and Welbeck. And when he's fit, Welbeck, he is a good player.
Yeah,
Brighton can keep him fit.
Yeah, he just needs to stay fit, doesn't he?
Here's McGinn. Good lofted ball in towards the penalty area. Not a good first touch from Traore. It didn't matter, he was offside anyway. So a free kick.
But what happened to playing on? What if he's not offside? Is what I don't understand. When did they play on? Let's look at the replay here. Yes, he is offside, but if he wasn't, I mean,
it's not completely clear cut, is it?
Exactly.
Having said that, his first touch wasn't good, was it? So just a quick reminder, there's plenty of action yet to come today. 4 games back to back in the Premier League here on Premier League Live. Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City. Straight after this one, Tom Rennie and Kit Simons, your commentary team at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And after that, Manchester United against West Bromwich Albion. Andrew Self and Paul Parker, your commentary team, waiting for you up at Old Trafford. Still plenty to come. Chelsea, of course, winners at Newcastle 2-0 earlier on to go top of the league. And Brighton have won a free kick. Cash with the foul on the persistent Neil Mope.
Yeah, they've caused major problems, Mopai and Welbeck. I mean, like I said, there's not many teams that play two up front. They've done it today, and it's working a treat for Brighton because the Villa centre-backs are not used to playing against two up front, and I think Mopai's been clever. He's drifting onto Matty Cash and causing him problems as well.
It's a Brighton free kick. This is an opportunity to get the ball in. Possession-wise, second half, 50-50. First half, Brighton had 53% possession, so just edged it. So it gives you an indication that in terms of possession, it's been very tight. Solly March with a free kick. It's a good delivery in, and Webster was trying to get on the end of it. Good defending by Aston Villa. Clearance by Traore. Can't release Trezeguet down the right-hand side, and it's gone all the way back to Ryan. Sends it long. Mope with a cushioned header. Gross takes a couple of touches and then just volleys it towards the left. Mope again. Now Basuma. Under a bit of pressure from McGinn. Webster back in his defensive position on the left. Rolls it down the line but can't keep it in play. Mark Yu has tweeted us at TalkSport Live. Thank you for making my day. That's Mark Yu in Nigeria. How we've made his day, I'm not quite sure. Probably because we've got 4 games back to back, and the drama all the way here on Premier League Live with the action from the Premier League today.
Yeah, this isn't where I want to see Watkins on the left. You know, he needs to stay in the middle.
Here is Watkins. He's done well to get towards the penalty area, towards the byline. Hangs it up, but he hangs it up exactly where he needs to be. Almost across the goal line, but there's no one there for Villa.
Yeah. That's where you want him, don't you, as a striker on the pitch.
Referee says play on. Here's Grealish to Traore. It's back to Cash again. Inside to Douglas Luiz. Back to Traore on the right hand side, trying to find an opening. To Luiz. Switches it to the left, where Target has ventured forward from the left back position. Hasn't got the opportunity to cross, and it's now back on the right hand side with Cash. Again, testing cross, but those type of crosses are easy for Matthew Ryan.
Yeah, Watkins is not that sort of striker that's going to feed off them crosses. I mean, they've got to try and play it into get balls for Watkins to get in, and I just want to see Grealish on the ball a bit more. I think this formation is killing him a bit. He's not getting the ball like he's used to on the left.
Brighton leading here at Villa Park by 2-1. Aston Villa could be looking at a 3rd successive home defeat, and this after they bounced back with an excellent 3-0 win at Arsenal. Here's Gross. More licence to get forward in this second half from Gross. Lamptey with a cross. It's not a particularly good cross, but it will run all the way through to Solly March on the left hand side. He's up against Cash. Can he get the cross in? He can, but it's glided over the top of the crossbar and out for a goal kick. And Villa need a lease of life from somewhere, don't they, Gabby?
Yeah, they need, like I said, I'd love Horahan to come on. They need some changes because you can't really see them making some clear-cut chances at the moment. Brighton look comfortable in how they're playing. So for me, definitely Horahan would be one that I'd bring on.
Lecky Massacre has just tweeted us at TalkSport Live. Sticking with you guys, why hasn't Grealish scored, or is he waiting for me to kick him out of his fantasy team? I think Aston Villa aren't consistent. That's forgive me, that is just like Manchester United. Yes, win today and lost tomorrow. That's from Lecky Massacre.
I think I say it's for every team in the league. The lack of consistency this season. That's why the league's so open.
Yep. Consistency is the key to the title. Who's going to find it? That's the question. Here's Tyrone Mings. Grealish, but he's had to come into his own half to gather the ball, finding Luiz, but he was sloppy in possession. And Brighton give the ball away with a bit of sloppiness of their own, all the way through to Emiliano Martinez. What have you made of Martinez since his arrival from Arsenal?
Very, very good goalkeeper. I'm very impressed with him. I am using the ball at his feet, and his shot stopping's been outstanding, and great signing for Aston Villa, and I'm sure Arsenal fans will miss him, but he's been outstanding.
Sliding challenge from Ben White, but it doesn't take the ball away from Trezeguet, who turns with a burst of pace and energy, finding Grealish, who just flicks it wide to the right hand side, and Cash back to Grealish down the right hand side now, goes down holding his ankle under the challenge from Basuma. It was a minimal contact really. It's probably going to be enough for a yellow card, is it, for Basuma?
It looks minimal contact, but I think he's caught Grealish there. He's quite rash, Basuma, when he tries to get the ball back. I mean, sometimes he's got a jockey. But it's a great chance as well for Aston Villa to try and get another goal from a set piece.
It's just one of those, you lean your foot into the kind of Achilles, and that can hurt. And a yellow card for Basuma. So chance for Villa to get a delivery into the box now.
Yeah, it's a great chance.
Traore, deep delivery, too deep for Trezeguet, straight out for a goal kick, and that's disappointing.
Yeah, it just kills the tempo, doesn't it, of the game when you put a set piece in like that. But at least he's been trying to get on the ball. Traore, he's had a quite decent game, but still for me, I mean, Horahan should be getting a chance. Bring him on, he's got a goal in him, he can score long range shots. I think it's time for that gamble now for Dean Smith.
Needs to do something. Brighton almost giving the ball away through White there. It's an overhit pass. It was too hard for Traore, who was happy to let it go out for a throw-in. It's 20 minutes to go, Gabby, and time is starting to run out for Aston Villa here.
Yeah, and it looks like Brighton are the sort of team that can try and like make it slow, you know, get everyone behind the ball and play in a counter-attack. So they need to try and get the equaliser soon, because even a draw is not a great result for Aston Villa in this game. It's for me a must-win.
Throw from Webster onto the chest of Welbeck, and in one movement he turns brilliantly and finds Lamptey, who again has space and time on the right hand side, feeds it further wide to Pascal Gross. 100th Premier League appearance today from him. His cross comes in, it's Solly March, tries to hit it on the volley, might get a second bite of the cherry, turns it back in towards the penalty area, it hits Cash and goes behind for a Brighton and Hove Albion corner.
Lamptey for me is getting too much time. All game he's had too much time on the right hand side. No one's got anywhere near him, and I think that's a bit of difference today, Lamptey.
Yes, very impressed with him. He's certainly not the tallest, is he? He's diminutive.
Yeah, but I don't think you need to now, do you?
No, absolutely not in those wing back positions, but he's quick. Solly March's corner, straight onto the head of Target, who heads away with distance. Gross just watches it straight out of play for a throw-in to Brighton. Just breaks up play a little bit further, chewing on the gum. Dean Smith, his record against his opposite number today, Graham Potter, is a decent one.
I think the worrying thing for me would be that how easy it's been for two strikers to get on the ball and make runs in behind, because other teams now will be looking at this for when they play Aston Villa as maybe the formation is key. Two strikers up front.
Corner to Brighton and Hove Albion. It's a throw-in, so Mopay rather intelligently peeled away to the goal line over towards the corner flag, and that forced Cash to have to stretch and turn it behind for a corner. And it's an opportunity. Third goal now for Brighton, and it's theirs to hold on to, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the next goal, if Brighton get it, it'll be the end of the game for me, because Aston Villa struggled.
It's crossed straight to Target, who clears. Grealish inside his own penalty area, tried an audacious back heel, and it might backfire. Here's Mopay with a back heel of his own, and then the shot by Welbeck, and it's just wide. Well, what on earth was Jack Grealish doing there, trying to back heel the ball away inside his own penalty area?
Yeah, it wasn't the wisest decision there from Jack, but he's lucky to get away with it. Definitely, because that's another great chance for Brighton to get the third goal.
Well, Mopay with a back heel, it's blocked by Target, and Welbeck unable to smuggle the ball in.
Yeah, even Mopay, I don't know why he didn't pass it either. It's a bit cheeky from him.
Trezeguet for Aston Villa. Wide to Watkins. Watkins peeling to the right hand side. He's got Veltman in close attendance. Trezeguet. It's passed to Traore, who's behind Traore. Cleared away.
That's the problem with Trezeguet. That final ball, he hasn't got it. he'll give it away when he shouldn't, and he's done it again there.
Luis to Mings. And apart from bringing on Traore in the second minute, Villa have not made a change. Veltman's come on at half-time for Brighton, but no further changes, but that's just about to change. And let's just see who's coming on. Anwar El Ghazi. He's going to come on.
Yeah, I think it's really tough with them, Dean Smith, because you look at Traore, you look at Trezeguet, and you look at El Ghazi, and they're all similar players. None of them are at that Premier League level for me that Villa are missing on that right-hand side.
That saves me having to ring it out. Horahan and El Ghazi are on for Luis and Traore. Just sharpens things up a little bit, try and get Horahan on the ball, and you know he's capable of coming up with something from midfield. Here's Cash. Just run straight into Solly March. March sends it long downfield up towards Welbeck, but it's running through to Mings, who's in a hurry to turn it to the left-hand side and Target. Target slows down and then finds Watkins. Watkins lay off straight to Lamptey. That's got to be a foul surely on Lamptey. No, it's not. Target again down the left-hand side. Gets a deep delivery in. Solly March didn't have a shout. He says, come on, talk to me. He's turned it behind for a corner with no one behind him. If he'd have known, he'd have turned away with the ball and gone downfield. Instead, he's headed it behind. It was a lack of communication from Brighton there.
This looks like Aston Villa's best possibility to get the equaliser from a set piece, so I'm sure they were looking at Conter again to try and score the goal, or Tyrone Mings.
Conter's up. Tyrone Mings is in there as well. This is a tall Brighton side. And it comes, and Welbeck leaps and gets some good distance on the clearance all the way up towards the halfway line with Jack Grealish, and Grealish carries it towards the right. It's Horahan to McGinn. Cash with that pinging the ball about, but they're still only just inside the Brighton half. So here's Konza. Cash closed down by Welbeck.
They're working very hard, Brighton, to stop any gaps for Aston Villa.
Target. Trezeguet quickly deliver into the box. Brighton have managed to clear it away, and as far as McGinn. Now Grealish, right hand side, comes back inside and feeds it into the penalty area. El Ghazi hangs up high, trying to get on the end of it. It was Trezeguet. It's ended up going behind for an Aston Villa corner.
That's good play from Aston Villa though. Little 1-2s and getting crosses in, but it's just calling for a Wesley or a Keenan Davis now to add that threat from crosses.
Horahan will take this corner at the Holt end of the stadium. Back to Grealish. It's a short corner. Grealish edging his way into the penalty area. Wide it goes. The cross from Horahan is blocked. It goes out for I think a throw-in. It's right down by the corner flag. Indeed it is. Horahan has taken it. Target. Horahan again. Back to Target. First time ball low into the 6-yard box and cleared by Basuma. I had a tweet coming from Trevor Barmer, enjoying the commentary on this evenly balanced match whilst I put up my Christmas lights in San Antonio, Texas. That reminds me, I need to do mine at some stage. They're going up earlier every year, aren't they?
For sure.
Oh, here comes the corner.
It's a great chance for Conter there.
It's a good header by Dunk, climbing highest, but as far as Grealish. Grealish feeds it in towards that 6-yard box. A line of blue shirts there. And the security was good for Brighton, and they've got the chance to break away. Solly March, right hand side is Gross. And look at the run here for Mopé, and a looping header from him, but he couldn't direct it on target, and it's behind for a goal kick. But they were causing problems, Brighton, there on the counter attack.
And I think they're defending very well as well, and I think you look at the counter attack there, I'm sure they're more eager to get forward than Aston Villa are to get back, which is disappointing to see, but Brighton are looking like they're going to keep hold of this 2-1 win.
Incidentally, these are the two youngest teams in the Premier League statistically this season. So there's two young squads, age on their side. And there's a bit of cramp here for Danny Welbeck. Well, he is 30 next week, isn't he? Come to expect it. He's not had too many 90 minutes under his belt in recent months, has he? And only started the last game. It's the first time that he started for Brighton and Hove Albion. Dan Burn's going to come on in a moment or two. 6'7".
That's the last thing you want to see of your Watkins. He's had no joy all game from crosses. Then they're bringing on a 6'7" centre half.
Well, he's been playing in a kind of wing back position, hasn't he, Dan Burn?
Yeah.
And this is just to solidify, isn't it? With just 11 minutes or so to go, plus injury time. And they're bringing off Mope, and that tells you everything you need to know.
Yep, short shot. They're gone behind the ball.
I don't think Dan Burn will be going up front.
That looks like a 6 at the back to me. Maybe even 7.
Well, you think they've got Dunk, Veltman, Webster, White, and now Burn. 5 central defenders on the pitch. I mean, I know that White can play in midfield, and he is, and you know, Dan Burn can play on the left. 5 central defenders to all intents and purposes. Here is Dan Burn playing in a left-back position. That will just allow Solly March to edge forward, won't it, into a kind of more orthodox. It'll be a more 5-4-1, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I'm just frustrated seeing Aston Villa getting crosses in, because they need to try and get some play outside the box and get a little shot off, because these crosses.
And again, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Watkins has a glance at the referee and hope rather than expectation that something might come of the challenge on him. March with the challenge on Grealish was slightly agricultural, and that's a free kick to Aston Villa. And this is where the delivery needs to be good, and it hasn't always been from Aston Villa this afternoon. Cross goes Conor Horahan to take it. It's wide on the right hand side, right over by the touchline, about 5 yards in, 25 yards from goal. Sends in a good ball, which Matthew Ryan, the Australian international goalkeeper, punches. Grealish, a looping header forward, big down. Ryan gets it away with a header. Grealish again. Horahan. It's Cash. Thwarted by the challenge from Solly March. The potential match winner, Solly March. 42nd.
It looks like a Brighton team that know they're 16th, they need a result. I feel like they've showed a lot more hunger this game. A team that needs some points more than Aston Villa do.
Graham Potter's changed them and the way that they are from when he took over, and it was an interesting appointment, and they certainly play differently to how they did under Chris Hughton, and at times towards the end of the Hughton regime it was turgid stuff to watch, it really was. And you know, they're a little bit more entertaining now. They've actually scored 13 goals in their opening 9 games. That's their best return in the Premier League. Trouble is, it's their worst return in terms of goals conceded.
Yeah, it's not like Brighton. Brighton are normally very strong at the back and don't concede.
A bit more open this year.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. From our point of view, we get to see more goals. Here come Villa. But they're struggling to break down Brighton at the moment. And since those 2 substitutions, we're rather hoping that it might allow Villa to come up with 1 or 2 fresh ideas, but it's not the case at all. It's Cash. But it was Grealish. He does look like Cash from a distance, doesn't he, Grealish? But it's Grealish through to McGinn.
You just don't want Jack there, though. A team that's playing 6 defenders, you want Jack.
7 minutes to go, and he's playing as a right back.
Yeah, you want Jack in the hole and just let the players find him.
Here's McGinn. Free kick has been taken short by Cash. Now Ghazi. Grealish. Every time Grealish has got the ball, there's at least 2 Brighton players following him. Still Grealish. Basuma got the ball. Not to Villa's liking, but he did get the ball, and he sends it long. Welbeck thought about chasing it, and then thought again. Thought, no, let them have it. Let them have the ball deep inside their own half. McGinn to Cash. Back to McGinn, but it's still inside the Aston Villa half. And they've only got 6.5 minutes to try and retrieve something from a game that many expected them to win.
Yeah, it's
Horahan. Touch by McGinn. Didn't really help Target's cause and cleared away.
The tactics have worked perfectly though for Brighton. You know, they've made it very, very hard for Grealish to get on the ball with loads of bodies in the middle.
Yeah, the credit out 5-4-1. Their stall is set out.
Yeah.
Here's Grealish. Cash leaves it to Al-Ghazi. And via Al-Ghazi again, after the pass from Cash, who continues his run forward. Al-Ghazi, chance to cross. Can he deliver a decent ball in? He can, but it's been headed away by Webster, only as far as Grealish, edge of the penalty area. Poor ball from him, and that will go behind for a goal kick, and that was disappointing from Jack Grealish. And we're almost into the last 5 minutes here. Grealish has just gone and retrieved the ball and put it down for a goal kick, as if to say, come on, hurry up.
Yeah, it's been quite a poor performance from Aston Villa, and you think like the confidence from the Arsenal game, and then they come and put in a performance like this. It must be really, really frustrating for Dean Smith and the coaching staff, because they can do better than this on their day.
Aston Villa 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 2. You're listening to Premier League Live. Don't forget, there's more action coming your way. Straight after this one, we'll be off to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What a cracker that will be. Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City. Tom Rennie, Kit Simons, your commentary team. And then later on this evening, it's Manchester United against West Bromwich Albion. Andrew Self and Paul Parker will be up at Old Trafford to bring you all the action as it unfolds in that game. Here's Target, back to his goalkeeper, Martinez. Rolls it out. Not the greatest of passes to Ezri Konsa, and it's been pinched back by Welbeck. Gross can't quite link up again with Welbeck, and out comes Martinez to scoop the ball up, but that was not the greatest of passes from Martinez. It put Konsa under a lot of pressure. Aston Villa clear the ball down the right hand side to El-Ghazi, helping it on towards Trezeguet, right hand side. Dunk's gone out there with him. El-Ghazi's delivery in. Shout was from Matthew Ryan. Veltman brought it down in his chest and then took no chances and hooked it away anyway. Here's Grealish, straight at Veltman, and Veltman just pelts the ball out for a throw, and he's happy to see it.
It actually feels like Brighton have 3 more players than Aston Villa on the pitch.
It does at times, doesn't it?
They're pressing them high, but then still got their 5 at the back, 2 players in the middle. They're working extremely hard.
Potter's got the tactics right at the moment, but here is Watkins and a
Trezeguet.
Shot from Trezeguet, and it was sitting up, and he fires it high and wide.
But that's a good chance there. You look at this here from Watkins holding it up. Trezeguet comes in. I mean, you have to be working the keeper here.
I was going to say, at this level, you've got to be hitting the target.
You have to be hitting the target. It's erratic.
You could take another goal, stick it on top of the goal, and it was still gone over. That was very poor from Trezeguet.
I think that's what you get from Trezeguet, and I think Dean Smith will see that frustration. But you look at Traore today, is he any better? I think that's what, if January or in the summer they can get someone else in, it's definitely a winger that Aston Villa need to take them to the next level.
Goal kick from Ryan. And Burnt losing out. Nudge forward by Cash. 15 attempts on target. 15 attempts on goal, I should say, from Aston Villa to Brighton 7, but they trail here by 2-1, and there are 2.5 minutes to go, and the referee, Michael Oliver, has shown a yellow card. I didn't see that. That was it was at Lamptey.
Yeah, Lamptey. Yeah.
Lamptey's caution. And for Lamptey, that's his 3rd yellow card in the Premier League this season. This is Grealish. He's given no time at all there, and Gross took it off of him. The likes of Basuma and Gross have really put in the shift for Brighton in that midfield.
Yeah, there's been no space, has there, for Grealish. He gets the ball, he's got 3 defenders around him with a midfielder. It's been really tough for him.
Horahan couldn't link up a 5-yard pass there with Villa, and that's frustrating. And suddenly Lamptey's away down the right hand side, sends the ball in towards Welbeck, cut out by Ezri Konsa, and then Grealish Fops a long ball down the left-hand side towards Ollie Watkins, but it's out of play, and that will be a throw to Brighton, and they won't be in any great hurry to take this. They won early on away at Newcastle. That's their only win in the Premier League so far this season, Brighton and Hove Albion. Only won one game this year, this calendar year at home.
This is another showing of the Premier League. Anyone can beat anyone on their day. Form goes out the window in the Premier League. If you're not at it 100%, you get found out. I think that's what Aston Villa have done today. They've not been at it like it wasn't against Southampton, and they've been found out.
Coming Villa again. It's Watkins playing as a left winger. They need bodies in the box though. Look at Watkins. He's got two Brighton players around him. One of them was Veltman, the other Lamptey, and between them they've taken the ball off of him. Lamptey with a clearance away. It'll come to McGinn. 25 yards out, up in the air towards Trezeguet. Not the type of ball that Trezeguet would have wanted, and Brighton have managed to clear up towards the halfway line. Ball bouncing around. Header by Mings, finding Target. Target down the line to Grealish. Need a moment of magic from Grealish. Trezeguet couldn't get there ahead of Webster. And there's an injury to the Brighton substitute Veltman, who's down on the ground at the moment. I think he's taken exception to the reaction from Jack Grealish. Referee Michael Oliver is holding the yellow card. Was that for Jack Grealish?
Yeah, for Grealish, I think he pulled him up, so I think it was a yellow card, but
yeah, frustrating for Jack Grealish. You talk about the Premier League being unpredictable. It doesn't help a lot. These teams are playing in Europe virtually every week. The European campaign is even more intense than normal because of the circumstances. Was he a little elbow there from
there's nothing in that.
Trezeguet?
Yeah, there's nothing in that. He's a big, strong centre half. Fell down.
I don't think that hurt as much as the reaction suggested it did. Ball into the box. I was going to say in the international break.
That's a red card for Lamptey.
It is. It's a second yellow, and Lamptey is off, and Brighton will have to play the remainder of this game with 10 men. Lamptey shown a red. He's pleading his innocence, but Michael Oliver's not going to change his mind, and a minute into the 4 minutes of added time, Brighton are down to 10 men.
He's definitely caught him, and I think that needs to happen in football. You can't keep making these challenges and not getting the yellow cards for it. It's definitely a red card.
Lamptey will make his way across the pitch.
He's caught him for me. It's a yellow card.
Well,
our boss is not happy. if that was Ben Rama, he'd say straight red.
Well, it's a long old walk to the tunnel, and one of the quickest players in the Premier League is showing us that he can also walk very slowly. And Brighton won't be too bothered that they're down to 10 men for the last 2 minutes. Just need to hold on. Here comes the Villa free kick. It's cleared as far as Grealish. He's on his right foot, rolls it wide, and then a foul inside the penalty area, and a penalty. Trezeguet was caught. The referee had a long, hard look and points to the spot, and Aston Villa have been given a penalty.
I think it's a foul for me. I mean, you got no reason to do that in the box. Just stay on your feet. Don't make a challenge. Let's have a look again.
So Trezeguet's taken it.
It's a foul.
Yeah, well,
it's a foul.
He's played the ball and then followed through and caught Trezeguet.
I think it's a new rule, isn't it? If you look at the new rule, for me that's a foul.
Oh, don't start with me on the rules. I don't even know what the rules are anymore. They change every week. So they're checking the penalty, VAR. So it's not yet a gimme. VAR could yet rescue Brighton and Hove Albion and overturn this. The VAR boys, Chris Kavanagh and Dan Cook, have been drinking coffee for 90 minutes plus and have had nothing to do, and then suddenly this comes along. Is it a penalty? Well, they will make the decision. Or will they hand it back to Michael Oliver to go and have a look at the monitor?
You just can't. You can't make them challenges in the box, can you? Now that the football's changed, the rules have changed.
He shouldn't have waved his foot, certainly. So he's got the ball, and then he's caught the shin pad of Trezeguet. And is he going to have a look at the screen? He's going to have a look at the screen, Michael Oliver, which is the
I don't think he gives it now.
With VAR, I never want to call it, because everything I say that's definitely is or that definitely isn't, they'll go the opposite way.
Either way, there's going to be some set of players giving him a lot of stick.
Well, someone's going to be upset here. He's having a long look. Well, you can look at this, Gabby, 100 times, and we'll...
You can see why he probably won't give it.
He's turned it over. Has he turned it over? What's he done?
No penalty.
No penalty. He didn't make the clear signal. He done half the signal and then stopped. No penalty, no foul by Solly Marsh. Drama at the end here at Villa Park. Good old VAR. We've kept it boxed up for 89 minutes, and then suddenly it comes out to brighten up our day once again. Did he get it right, Gabby? Durrently got it right.
I think if I put my neutral hat on, I think they probably got it right, but I mean,
I knew I'd get it out of you eventually.
I don't know.
Well,
I think it was the opposite.
Brighton looked comfortable.
Yeah, it was
suddenly
in the opposite hands.
There's a red card and then a penalty that wasn't a penalty.
If that was given for Villa, I'd be disappointed, so I'll probably have to agree that it wasn't a penalty.
Brighton are making it. Pascal Gross. Jason Malombi comes on for his Premier League debut. He's been waiting for it. Played for the Republic of Ireland against England at Wembley. And now a Premier League debut for him. He's on. And just want to touch the ball now. And here he is. Malombi happy to just volley the ball down the left-hand side. Villa are still chasing this game.
Be interesting to see how much time we've got left.
That's very true. We're up to 6 minutes of the 4 minutes added time, so with 2 over.
Welbeck's looked very fit for me today. He's not stopped running for me. 100% man of the match. He's been very good. Yeah, he's had an excellent game. It's Horahan. Cross to sweep things up, and sweep things up well is Ben White. He's given the ball away to Grealish. One last chance maybe. Trezeguet. Trezeguet was shaping to shoot. Instead he sends it wide. Cash with the cross. Brighton deal with it well. Cash with a header up in the air. Big Dan Burn is favourite to win this header. He's 3 inches taller than anyone out there. And he didn't win that header, but Brighton are able to clear long downfield towards Ezri Konsa. And now Horahan. Trezeguet darting towards the right hand side into the Brighton and Hove Albion half. Cushioned wide by El Ghazi. El Ghazi continues his run down the right hand side. Across goes Lewis Dunk. Anywhere will do. And there is the final whistle. And it's a victory for Brighton and Hove Albion. Not many people fancy them coming here to Villa Park and picking up all 3 points, but that's exactly what they have done. They have beaten Aston Villa by 2-1. An excellent finish from Solly Marsh. Proves to be the match winner. And it's finished. Aston Villa 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 2. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Demanding a high performance from your team? You should be demanding the same from your tyres. The Irish Tyre Industry Association is urging motorists to stay safe this winter and check the condition of your tyres. You could even be liable for a fine and 2 penalty points if found driving with tyres below the legal tread depth limit of 1.6 millimetres. ITIA expert technicians will carry out a free tyre safety check to ensure your tyres are safe and legal. Visit itia.ie to find your local expert.
As Ireland's homegrown insurer, FPD knows it's empowering when someone has your back. So switch your van insurance to us and get up to 75% no-claim discount. Visit fbd.ie to request a quote. FBD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms, conditions and underwriting criteria apply. 75% no claims discount is based on proof of 5 years no claims discount and available to new commercial motor customers only. FBD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FBD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FBD Insurance plc.
Upgrade your home viewing experience at Curry's PC World. See every tackle, shot and goal in crystal clear definition with our huge range of the latest to market large screen TVs with massive savings. Like save up to €130 on Samsung 4K TVs from only $459. And get your TV for half price. 1 in 20 win half their money back. Buy any LG OLED TV to enter with prices from just $1,249. Shop the full range online at currys.ie.
Get ready and hold on tight because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track and who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football. Plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Go for a walk. Walk the dog. Go cycling. Cycle the dog. Recycle the dog. Just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. If one leg of your 4+ fold ACCA lets you down, get a free bet on all football leagues and markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Need help? Visit gamblingcare.ie.
Premier League Live with Talk Sport. All the big goals and big moments from the world's biggest football league.
Great header! Oh, that's a super header by Bruno Fernandes.
In the area, Jesus, lovely first touch, better second touch. He's levelled things up.
Bringing you the best of the Premier League all year round.
It's Watkins on his left foot. It's 3 for Aston Villa. They have torn Arsenal apart in North London tonight. It's Diogo Jota! He's knocked him out this time. What a signing he's been!
Bamford now looking for the hat-trick. What a finish from Patrick Bamford again!
Premier League Live with Talk Sport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm your host Tom Rennie. Alongside me for this one is the former Crystal Palace, Fulham and City defender Kit Simons. This is Premier League Live. It was a year yesterday that Tottenham celebrated 12 months of their marriage of convenience to Jose Mourinho. But is it becoming Pochettino, beloved by so many Spurs fans, was replaced by the former Chelsea and Manchester United manager? There was a feeling that Tottenham had done a deal with the devil. But with the club sitting in second in the Premier League table going into this weekend, Gareth Bale returning to the club and Harry Kane in exceptional form, the devil has started to deliver. Mourinho looks nothing like the husk of a man we saw in his last days at Old Trafford. This is a manager who has refound his mojo. There are still questions as to whether his opposite number today has lost his. That's despite the new contract signed by Pep Guardiola this week, which should take him to 7 seasons at City as they look to build a club around him. Now get Messi, said the sports pages the next day. That won't be happening yet, so Guardiola will just need to settle for his current world-class players to end their early season slump. 12 points from their opening 7 Premier League games is their worst start to a season in over a decade and the lowest tally Guardiola has ever had. Let's get to the team news then as these two great rivals meet in North London, starting with Tottenham Hotspur. 2 changes from their late victory against West Bromwich Albion. Matt Doherty drops out. He tested positive for COVID-19 during international break. Gareth Bale also on the bench. Serge Aurier and Steven Bergwijn come in. Hugo Lloris in goal, back 4 left to right of Sergio Reguilon, Eric Dyer, Toby Alderweireld and Serge Aurier. Midfield pairing is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Moussa Sissoko. Tanguy and Ndombele in midfield. Heung-min Son, Stephen Bergwijn supporting Harry Kane up front. Hart, Rodon, Davis, Lo Celso, Bale, Moura and Vinicius on the bench. For Manchester City, good news for them, Raheem Sterling is fit and back. Good news for them, Sergio Aguero is fit and back, but both only on the subs bench today. 2 changes from their game against Liverpool before international break. Gundogan and Sterling dropping out, Riyad Mahrez and Bernardo Silva coming in. So Ederson starts in goal, back 4 left to right of João Cancelo, Aymeric Laporte, Ruben Dias and Kyle Walker, looking a settled back 4 at the moment for Manchester City. Rodri in the central midfield with Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez and Ferran Torres supporting Gabriel Jesus up front. On the bench it's the American Zach Steffen, also Stones, Sterling, Gundogan, Aguero, Foden and Garcia. And just for added spice, added drama, Mike Dean is our referee today. Speaking of added spice, it's the cinnamon to my buns. Kit Simons is with me. How are you, Kit? You all right, mate?
Very good, Tom. Very good, thank you.
Looking forward to this one immensely. 2 teams with title aspirations this season. Let's start with Tottenham Hotspur. They go top with a victory today. 1 year of Jose Mourinho. Has it been a success thus far for you?
I think you've got to look where they are now, how they're playing, and say yes, it has. I think it's still a work in progress, and I think he admits that. But they've certainly improved from where they are. They're looking a lot more resilient and harder to beat, but they're still scoring a lot of goals as well. So yeah, I'd say it's been a big success.
You never have a game these days for Tottenham Hotspur without some sort of Harry Kane record. I think those are the rules these days. And we're on for even more Harry Kane history today if he finds the back of the net. He usually does find the back of the net. One would be 100 home goals for Tottenham across the 3 home grounds he's played at for this club. He said this week that he's become a better player, maybe playing as good as he ever has, because of Jose Mourinho. Have you seen improvements to individuals like Harry Kane because of Mourinho?
I mean, it's difficult to say if it's because of Mourinho. You know, Harry Kane was a fabulous player before Mourinho turned up. He looks like he's enjoying his football, as do all the Tottenham players. So it's quite a tough one to call. You know, a lot of the time, if players are happy and enjoying their football, they play better. So is that the managers improve them or improve the environment? Do you know what I mean? It's a tough one to say whether he's improved that individual through doing certain work on the training field or individual work with that player. But that's the most important thing as a manager, is to try and get that environment right, so that people want to turn up at the training ground, they want to train, want to work, and they want to be in that team come a match day. You know, for me, that is the most important thing. Yeah. And that certainly seems to be the thing that Jose Mourinho has got right at this moment in time at Tottenham.
Man City under Pep Guardiola for his 5th season, 2 more seasons on top of this after his new contract was signed this week. Were you surprised that Guardiola signed on for 2 more years? There are many suggesting, and not me, but others have suggested, that Guardiola seems a man that's not particularly happy at the moment.
Well, he's saying that he is, and the fact that he signed this new contract would indicate that he is as well. You know, I was a little bit surprised with the timing of it. You know, the way things are maybe at the moment was a little bit surprising, but it's certainly a huge vote of confidence from those at the top at Manchester City, and it shows, you know, sort of loyalty to the cause from Pep as well. So I think for the City, the bigger picture for Man City is probably a good thing. But listen, they're not in particularly good form. We spoke earlier, Tom. They're not scoring goals. They're not creating chances like they were. And un-City-like, the defence is actually quite tight. And I think Diaz and Laporte will form a very good relationship. And I think defensively they'll get better. But it's you know, unbelievably, it's creating chances and scoring goals that is a huge problem.
I mean, on that, 17 goals fewer scored than at the same stage last season, 27 last, 10 this. Now, they have had injury issues. Sergio Aguero, he was injured, he came back, he got taken off at half-time against West Ham, and he's only back on the bench today. Gabriel Jesus missed the start of this season through injury as well. But still, they've had Raheem Sterling, Ferran Torres, Riyad Mahrez. We've not got time to list the sheer amount of world-class talent that they have. So what has been going wrong? Is it just the striker being missing, or a lack of confidence? Tell me why this has happened, because it's very un-City and very un-Guardiola.
It is. It's quite a shock to everyone, I think. But it's not. I don't think it's just those 2 strikers that you've mentioned, because they're not creating the chances as well. They're down on, you know, penalty box entries and chance creation and everything. for their attacking stats, almost like a third down on this stage of last season. So it's the whole machine is not functioning quite right. And like I say, they have tightened up defensively, which was always a little bit of an issue, but you always fancied them to outscore the vast majority of their opponents.